This software program that I'm using is just not that great. I had it scheduled. It was up open on YouTube, but then when I came to this back end to try to get my stuff going, it like wouldn't allow me to connect to the stream that I had scheduled. But whatever, we're here now. You know what I'm saying? Technology's always screwing up. We got Mike Boy in the building. You say you got to get off my ass. Look in the mirror. I'm him. You know what I'm saying? Hey, how was that show last night? Was that shit cool? I saw a little bit of what you had posted in the stories, but I already know that shit was probably a good ass time. Did you get in mad late? But well, no, y'all 2 hours behind now because I'm in St. Louis. But how was that shit? But yeah, man, I don't know what happened with the scheduled stream that I had going, but whatever. I hope people aren't still in there waiting. I deleted it. But we got some stuff to talk about. You know what I'm saying? We got to talk about first and foremost, obviously, we're gonna review the disaster ridiculous interview that Donald Trump had with Elon Musk, both ridiculous individuals. We got Ilhan Omar, who won and won pretty decisively. And I have, in addition to just covering that, I have some commentary about how, you know, um, for me, I think it's pretty clear that the fact that Ilhan Omar, who really is, I would say, targeted more heavily than Cori Bush ever was. The fact that she won the way she did, I think, is a good testament to the fact that progressives need to stop blaming APAC and blaming everyone else whenever we lose. Because, in fact, if we work hard and if we do what we're supposed to do, we can and we will win. So that's definitely going to be some of my commentary. Because again, it's easy to say, oh, she lost because of this or he lost because of that. But like, if that's the case, then why is Ilhan Omar winning her elections the way that she is? I think there's a lot to be learned and taken away from that. So we gonna go over that. So congratulations to Ilhan Omar. And oh, we got Fritz in the building. Yeah, see, I had my stuff scheduled, but whatever, it's all good. We got Luke and we got yes, Libby. I knew I saw Libby. Hold on, you said you can't hang out this evening. Um, just saw a notification. Oh, well, thank you. Hold on, you going through New Jersey? Oh, I just left New Jersey 2 weeks ago. I'll be back up there. I'll be back up there sooner than later. But yeah, so let's go ahead and get into it. We gonna get into it. But again, congratulations to Ilhan Omar, who I think we can all learn a lot from. One of my biggest criticisms of our because I'm very much a part of it. One of my biggest criticisms with our movement is I think sometimes we act a lot like Donald Trump. Again, when we lose, it's not because of us. It's not because we could have done better and we could have done X, Y, and Z. Oh, it's because of them and it's because of that. And they didn't know. Like, we got to stop doing that shit, man. We got to stop doing that. So, first, matter of fact, man, I got so many tabs pulled up. Let's get into Ilhan Omar. Let's go ahead and start here. Because again, I think she's easily the most consistently attacked and the most consistently scrutinized, definitely progressive member of Congress. But I mean, the fact that she's a Muslim woman, she wears her hijab, she can't get away from that. But she's still winning. So let's go ahead and check this out. Pull it up. Uh, there we go. Took a second to load up, but here we are. Ilhan Omar. Ilhan Omar voter fraud truthers are struggling with basic math. The theory sprung up after the district announced its ballot count. Rep. Ilhan Omar won her primary campaign in Minnesota's fifth district yesterday evening by 15%. That's a significant number. And again, what we really can learn from this is that if you put in the work, you focus on your constituents, you have a good chance of winning. A lot of left wing outlets when Cori Bush won, they were just, oh, it's APAC. Like, but if you ask people in Missouri, who are in her district, they'll tell you otherwise. They'll say she often wasn't in the office, she wouldn't return calls, She didn't really respond to her constituency very well. So again, I'm going to keep on harping on that because I want us to win. I don't want us to keep losing and then pointing the finger at everything and everyone but ourselves. Is corporate money a factor? Yes, absolutely it is. But that's at this point, it's just baked into the game. Like so it's just like water's wet, the sky is blue, grass is green. We know that there's corporate money in the system, but we know that we can beat that. You know what I'm saying? So when progressives stick to a concise message that is progressive, but not like, oh, let's try to loop everything in at once. Everything at the no, 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 no. Stick to a concise message that people want, economics, healthcare, education, and obviously social issues that generally progressives are champions for. But I think that the progressives really just get off track oftentimes. Um, but yeah, it's again, this is significant. Ilhan Omar she's very unfairly treated, but 15% victory, yeah, do your thing. Go ahead and get it. But on True Social, the social media site owned for by President Donald Trump, some conservatives are calling the election rigged. Of course, it's rigged. Omar, because there's no way that a Muslim hijab wearing woman could possibly win, even though she's already won, but there's no way. Omar's win comes after defeats for two high profile members of the squad. The name for the now dwindling collection of progressive Democratic members in the House of Representatives who were once seen as the vanguard of a younger, more democratic socialist influenced flank of the party. And again, what can we really take from this? Focus on your constituency, put in the work. And I mean, come on, man. Like at the end of the day, the core of the progressive agenda is very popular. You know what we talking about? We talking about expanding Medicare. We talking about raising the minimum wage. And these things are not like, oh, only progressives are talking about this. No, healthcare is unaffordable to pretty much everybody. Education is unaffordable to pretty much everybody. So, we stick to that and stick to your constituents. I think a lot of progressives do, and it's not even just us, like pretty much anybody can get caught up with this, even if you're not in politics. But the online hustle is very important. But at the end of the day, elections, you're an elected official, you're not there indefinitely. So it's good, and it's one thing for you to be nationally popular, but at the end of the day, if you're in the House of Representatives, you represent a district, and that district votes for you. Other districts don't vote for you. Other states don't vote for you. And clearly, Ilhan Omar is doing a very good job at not just building, but keeping her relationships with her constituents very strong. Otherwise, she would have lost already. I mean, let alone winning by 15% in this race. She would have lost. She would never have won in the first place, but certainly maybe she would have survived one term and then that would have been it for her. But no, 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 no. Clearly, her constituents know her, respect her, and feel that she's responsive to them. I mean, at the end of the day, the political fight is expansive and diverse. You need people who are on the inside. You need people doing all types of stuff. You need your strategists. You need your consultants. You need people knocking on doors. You need people making telephone calls. You know what I mean? So again, congratulations to Ilhan Omar, and let's learn from her efforts. After Rep. Jamal Bowman got handily beaten at the end of and again, like I'm saying, I think progressives have done a pretty solid job at, you know, the online game, but we have to not just win elections, we have to keep people there. We got to keep people there. After Rep. Jamal Bowman got handily beaten at the end of June by Westchester County Executive George Latimer, and Rep. Cori Bush lost by a slimmer margin to Wesley Bell on August 6th, many conservative opponents saw Omar as ripe for a takedown. It didn't hurt that the primary was an open primary, meaning anybody in Minnesota's 5th district can vote in it. Quote, if you live in Minnesota's 5th district, you must vote in the open Democrat primary this Tuesday, August 13th, to remove Ilhan Omar from office. So again, they tried. It ain't like they tried. And shit, if you think APAC wasn't spending money against Ilhan Omar, of course they were. Of course they were, but it didn't make a difference because the people came out and voted for her. Posted pro Trump influencer Laura Loomer, who's a complete moron, on X Monday, echoing a campaign to try and oust her that percolated on the right. Quote, Republicans, independents, and Democrats have a once in a lifetime opportunity to remove a Hamas supporter from Congress. Again, all the rhetoric was there, all the attacks were there, all the racism, the bigotry, all the isms were present, but 15% victory. She said, she said, whatever. She ain't tripping about that. And here's the district, Minnesota's 5th district. So again, we gotta make sure that first we gotta continue the effort to get our people up in these offices. You know what I'm saying? Um, yeah, good answer. You said no. You know what I'm saying? That's a good answer. I suppose. But it depends on what type of woman she is because she may just not believe you. Because sometimes when women ask you stuff like that, or people ask you stuff like that, if you say no, it could be like, oh well, he must make good decisions. He must not be out here running around with everybody. But if she's a little loony, you know what I'm saying, that she might be like, oh, he's lying. There's no way that that's true. But you got to take it a day at a time. People reveal themselves slowly. But yeah, you never know. But yes, again, this is exciting, man. This is good because like shit, she's more scrutinized than everybody because she got that hijab on. You know what I'm saying? Because that's how the Republican brain thinks. Oh, she's got on a hijab. She's a Muslim. No good. Absolutely no good to be seen here. But boom. The online effort didn't seem to inspire any real world impact as Omar won her primary not long after polls closed. On Truth Social, though, posters fixated on the speed with which voters were counted in her district, claiming that the reporting precincts total jumped from 5% counted to 99.5% counted in just 15 minutes. That's all that is. I was translating that into Republican wah wah. That's what it is. Speaking of Republican wah wah, Donald Trump, he was out speaking in front of some cameras today, and he seemed very he's not feeling it, man. He's not feeling it. He was super low energy. He was like, there's some polls out that show us doing really great. There's not. There's literally no polls that show him doing great right now. Even the right leaning polls are not showing him doing great. But that's the first thing he said, because of course that's what he's fixated on, the polls and the crowd sizes. Oh, and another thing he said in today's little whatever he did in front of the cameras, he was like, no one in political history has ever had crowd sizes as big as me. Like he's still doing it. He's not going to stop. It's like he's depressed that, well, why won't people care about this? But they don't. But again, Donald Trump, man, he got lucky. Well, in 2016, you got to give him some props. He ran a pretty good campaign in the sense of what he focused on more so policy than he is now. In 2016, and let's not forget, he was new in 2016, so he wasn't tested yet. But in 2016, he was talking about the economy. He was talking about prescription drugs. He was talking about prescription drugs. He was saying that they're getting away with murder. Now all he's doing is it's unfair. I want Joe Biden back. I miss Joe Biden. No one's ever spoken in front of crowds as big as me in the history of politics. No one ever like that's all he's doing now. So like there's absolutely no campaign whatsoever. But and also perhaps the biggest thing he had going for him in 2016 was the fact that his opponent was Hillary Clinton. Like because it's not even just that she was unpopular. She really didn't campaign well. She thought she had it in the bag. There were states that she just didn't go to, and that's kind of what Trump's doing right now. I was on Indisputable yesterday with Dr. Richie, He's one I admire Dr. Richie. There's not a lot of people that I genuinely admire because I'm so no, I'm just playing. But I truly admire Dr. Richie. He's a hell of a guy. But one of the things he was saying, because when I pointed out that Kamala has like, well, I think she has like 36 offices open in the state of Georgia, and Trump has one. Like and that's kind of what you're seeing on a state by state basis. There's 30 or 40 offices in this state, 25, 42 offices in this state, and Trump has, oh, I have two offices. That's that's how Hillary Clinton campaigned in 2016. And it played a huge role in why she lost. Because again, at the end of the day, and this is why Ilhan Omar won, it's about knocking on the doors, picking up the phone, following through with people, really building the connection, tapping into their desire to, for their children to have a better future. Really, really resonating with people on those ends, and not just, oh, my brand is so strong that no. So, but yeah, no, I think I have a little bit of video from what Trump was talking today, but he was really uh not feeling it. You could just tell. All right, hold on. Did I pull this back up? Yes, I did. Um, while the Minnesota Five, which is a fifth district, this is a quote, and I don't know who said this. Love world peace, whoever that is. While Minnesota Five was stuck at 0% for an hour, other districts were counting. By 10 p.m., no other districts were anywhere close to 99% counted like like Omar's fifth. Of course, so that they cheated. They just cheated, and she won by 15%. Wham wham. Other posters took the idea and ran with it. Quote, how is it all the candidates in the Minnesota primary had their numbers slowly inch up in increments while Ilhan Omar sat at a low percentage, 5% or so, and then suddenly jumped up to 99% instantaneously. Right now, Project 2025, we got people talking about getting rid of the Department of Education. Clearly, we need the Department of Education because a lot of Americans are just really, really dumb and don't know how to think. They may know what to think, but they certainly don't know how to think. Oh, we lost, so it's not legitimate. They cheated as always. Would not expect anything less because there's no way that this Muslim hijab wearing brown woman could possibly resonate with the public. It's so frustrating. That reminds me of Trump. He was like, "No way." And I was like, "Way." It's so frustrating. We have tried so hard here to penetrate the corruption. And we just couldn't do it, man. We just couldn't do it. APAC couldn't take her down because people like her too much. We tried so hard to defeat the corruption with bigger corruption, and it just didn't pan out so hot. It runs very deep, added Real Roddy Mom. It runs deep. The Daily Dot couldn't independently verify the exact times that the votes came in, but the fact that Minnesota's fifth district includes one county with over 100,000 votes, another county with just over 5,000 votes, and a third with just under 500 votes likely accounts for the dramatic jump. The total vote count for the district was 120,795 and 486, or 40% of, or point 0.4, uh, point, yeah, 0.4% of the vote came from Ramsey County. Okay, this is just a bunch of mumbo jumbo, not mumbo jumbo, but it's like precise numbers that don't really matter for what we're talking about right now. Um, but that logic won't be enough to persuade Trump. I mean, there is no logic that can persuade them. Of course, she cheated. This isn't. Oh, I guess she is in like parentheses because, well, we got to open up a transvestigation into Ilhan Omar. There's no way that she could have won. Must be a transgender woman. That must be what's going on. Yeah, that's what's going on. Oh, she won. She must be a transgender woman. Pull out the chromosome testers. This isn't the first time conservatives accused Omar of voting fraud. Yeah, this was written by A probably. Of course, it's not, because again, there's no way that she could have pulled that off. Not that she's already done it, but yeah. In 2020, the Minneapolis Police Department announced they were looking into claims raised by Project Veritas video, where a community activist called Omar Jamal said that excuse me, Omar was breaking election rules by paying for ballot harvesting. Omar denied these claims. A man, Liban Osman, later claimed that the activists offered him $10,000 to lie that he was offering people cash to vote for Omar. And they gave him 10 racks for that. And a man seen allegedly taking money to vote for Omar in the hand was a relative of Jamal's who thought he was being given money to send to another relative in Somalia. Well, that's how it goes, man. That is how it goes. If Republicans don't win, it's because they cheated. Hold on, let me open up some more Ilhan Omar stuff because there's more to talk about. There's definitely more to talk about. Let's see. I'm pulling up a few other articles, but I don't, there may not be much more information. But um, let's see. I got something pulled up. Just give me a sec. I'm looking on Google. I'm trying to see if she gave any remarks or something yet. Um, let's see. But yeah, again, Ilhan Omar is proof that the big bad APAC only has so much power. The big bad million trillion political action committees and super political action committees, they only got so much power. They got a lot of power, but you run a good campaign, you connect with the people, you'll be good. Let's see. No, this is CBS. All right, here we go. I got something pulled up because I wanted to see some statements. All right. Let's now here we go. But before I pull up that, let's see. Yeah, let's look at this before we watch the video. Ilhan, Ilhan. We got Aaron in the building. Erlinda. We got Aaron, Erlinda. We got Raja. What's going on? Yeah, exactly, Libby. That's where we're going. It's like if you beat a Republican, pull out the chromosome testers. But again, I don't I don't know. They're so far gone. They really are. Like there's so much of the right wing. Again, like the left. My criticism of the left is always like, hey guys, can we like actually like work and do what we're supposed to do so we can win? Can we stop that's usually my criticism of the left. It's like, hey guys, I want to win and I think we can do a better job. But then the right wing is just like, Tim Wall said it best. They're just a bunch of weirdos. Like, the fuck is wrong with these people? Progressives, we got the right idea. We just need a little adjustment in how we go about things. But overall, man, we got the right idea. We just, got to change the game plan a little bit. But again, this is why I'm excited to talk about this right now because um she's just walking, breathing, living proof that we don't have to succumb to our fear and we don't have to succumb to the idea that big corporate money will always win because at the end of the day, it's about getting the vote out. And she clearly has done that. Let's see. I think there were some because I don't want to reread a lot of the stuff, but this is from the Associated Press. Um, she says, quote, "We run the politics of joy." Oh, and it's good too that she's tapping into the man, Tim Walz really brought not only did Tim Walz, you know, not only did Tim Walz bring so much to Kamala's ticket, but he really brought a lot to the Democratic Party in general because this really is effective. Because on the other side, you just got nonstop fear mongering, and man, Tim Walz is he definitely opened up a hell of a can for the Democrats. She said, quote, "Because we know it is joyful to fight for your neighbors. We know it is joyful to make sure housing is a human right. We know it is joyful to fight for health care to be a human right. We know it is joyful to want to live in a peaceful and equitable world." Yes. Omar avoided the fate of two fellow squad members, Rep. Corey Bush, who we just talked about a little bit, lost the Democratic nomination in her Missouri district last week, and Rep. Jamal Bowman of New York lost his primary. Um, And they can run again. Corey Bush and Jamal Bowman can run again. They can give it another shot. Um, but I think that this is a good opportunity for us to just improve ourselves, not point the finger. Of course, APAC is giving money. Of course, political action committees are giving money. Honestly, so the fuck what? We got to deal with it, and we got to get around it, and we can. What is this? Samuel said he was very disappointed with his loss. Quote: what I was hoping is that a strong ground game and an attention to the details of folks out, who felt left out, would trump an overwhelming superiority in dollars. He said in an interview. Clearly, money matters a little more in politics than I had hoped. Don't know where you've been, but again, um, it's that if Ilhan, she's been in office for a couple terms now, so if her constituency wasn't feeling her, then money really wouldn't have been enough. It really wouldn't have been enough. But not Erlinda, I personally, I'm not that huge of a fan of Cori Bush. I don't dislike her, but I don't really, I personally don't really like. Okay, but you still lost. Like, eh, I don't know, man. I just that's just me. I just feel like what good is that really? But that's just my opinion. Because again, I'm from St. Louis, and people will tell you differently from here. They'll tell you, she's all right. Meanwhile, conservative populist and former NBA player Royce White, oh yeah, this guy, he defeated Navy veteran Joe Frazier in Minnesota's primary election for the primary nomination to challenge Democratic U.S. Senator Amy Klobuchar. All right, now let's take a look at Ilhan's a little bit of her commentary. Let's see. Like I just feel like again, my overall thing is sure APAC makes a difference. Sure, political action committees do make a difference, but I just think that it would be better for us overall to just not always point the finger to that because it's too easy. It's too easy. What did we do wrong?
Thank you.
Representative.
Tarab, we're coming for you.
Representative.
Yeah, Erling, do you see what I'm saying? Like again, I'm not saying the APAC doesn't play a massive role in screwing things up, but I think that at least what I'm going to do is my brand continues to grow. I'm going to be more so focused on, what can we do instead. But again, that's just me and how I'm going to move forward with it. Because at the end of the day, I'm a progressive. I'm a progressive just like everybody else, and we all are trying to win.
Thank you.
Representative.
Tarab, we're coming for you.
Representative. What does your margin of victory say about this race?
It says we were severely victorious and that we have a mandate.
What message do you have for your opponent?
The only
15%. She won by 15%. That is massive. And again, she's one of the most attacked people in the country, really.
message I have for my opponent is that I hope he reflects on the divisive, disturbing, and derogatory campaign he ran.
What are your biggest goals for this next term?
My goal is to continue to build on the work that we have done and hopefully work with a Harris-Walz administration.
And finally, how do you feel seeing this turnout at this watch party?
These are the people who were the backbone of the campaign, and I'm grateful to celebrate here with them.
You won. Cori Bush and Jamal Bowman lost. How was your
And again, Cori Bush can run again. And I think it took her 2 times because yeah, it did. It took her 2 times. So she has done that before. I think she'll probably run again. I actually met Cori Bush years ago. Like I moved she's always been very active in the community. She's great. I think she's awesome. I just think that what she could have done better is been a little bit more present in her district. I think if she was more present in her district, then I think she would have won. But again, this is what we need to be doing right now as a movement. As a movement, we need to be taking notes. And again, congratulations to Ilhan Omar. I'm definitely happy and excited about this. Um, let's see. I don't think there's much. I don't, at least right now, because this just happened. So we'll keep our eyes open. I'm gonna be looking to see remarks that she gives and stuff like that. And what I'd like to what I think would be helpful for us to do is is uh really take a deep dive into who all are on these people's campaigns. I think the Harris Walls campaign is being fantastically ran. So we'll be doing a deep dive into that. Who's behind it? Who's behind Ilhan Omar's campaign? All of that, and we'll be checking it out. But this is good. This is good news. I'm feeling good about it. Okay. And we're also going to look into ballot measures. Here in Missouri, where I'm at now, where y'all know I was born and raised. There's a $15 minimum wage is on the ballot. Abortion is on the ballot. I think I got some stuff pulled up from Arizona too. Um, and what we've seen is typically if it's left up to the public generally protects abortion rights. So I have a pretty good feeling that if abortion, since abortion is on the ballot, um, I think there's a pretty good chance that Missouri citizens will vote to protect access to it because Missouri is one of the states where it's basically kind of illegal at the moment, like just fully and flat out. Um, but we'll see. We will find out. Let me go here. Let me pull up some of these ballot initiatives now. Let's see. Missouri will vote on $15 minimum wage, paid sick leave for workers on November ballot. Uh, Missouri voters will decide in November whether to raise the state's minimum wage to $15 an hour and guarantee paid sick leave for workers. I think that with the Harris and Walls administration, especially with they got the House and the Senate, which they good chance that they will, but we'll see. I think if Harris and Walls have the House and the Senate, I think there's a very good chance that the minimum wage is raised because, again, it's low hanging fruit. It hasn't been raised in a long time. It's just an easy W for Democrats. So we will find out. But I think out of pretty much everything, that's definitely there's a good chance for that. Missouri Secretary of State Jay Ashcroft on Tuesday certified a ballot measure put forward by a campaign seeking to raise the state's minimum wage. Ashcroft found the campaign Missourians for Healthy Families and Fair Wages had gathered enough signatures to place the measure in the November general election. The measure will be called Proposition A on November 5th ballot. Quote, together, workers and community allies put better working conditions on the job on this year's ballot. Quote, this didn't happen overnight, Wise said. Missourians like me have not only had to work 2 to 3 jobs at a time to make ends meet, for over a decade, we have also spent time outside of work, organizing our strength in numbers for the dignity of all workers, for the dignity of all working people when it comes to our ability to make a living and provide for our families. If approved, the measure will gradually raise the minimum wage. The current is $12.30. It'll go to $13.75 on the first of this upcoming year and $15 an hour by 2027. We gonna raise the wage, but y'all still got to work a couple of years. You got to work for 3 more years before you get to the 15. Tito over nine power. Tito with the power level over 9,000. I see what you did there. I get the reference. I dig it. You said you're here in Missouri. Stand positive. I'm hoping for more progressive movement. The fake populism of Trump is leaving a sour taste for a lot of right wingers. I'm hoping will be a purple state in 28. Yeah. Now Tito, I just came here from um I've been living in New Jersey, New York area for the last 8 years. So that, very blue area. I come back here to Missouri and I'm like, oh shit, every other person I walk past probably got a license to carry gun in their pocket. I better make sure I wear condoms while I'm here because you know what I'm saying? Like it's just a whole nother animal. You coming back to the red states. No, I'm just talking shit, but yes, definitely very different environment. And while I'm here, I'm gonna really, I'm gonna start connecting with city council members. I'm gonna really put in an effort to reach out and build relationships with people on the ground here, because I think that there's one. I'm from St. Louis. I'm from here, so as my brand grows, I think that I have a responsibility to give back to this area, and I will, and I look forward to it. The measure also requires employers with 15 or more workers to provide 1 hour of paid sick leave for every 30 hours worked. According to the proposal, the earned sick leave provision would not apply to government workers, retail, or service employees who work for a business that makes less than $500,000 a year. Campaigners submitted more than 158,000 valid signatures. Abortion's also on the ballot, but I guess not in this article, but we'll get there in a sec. All right. I don't really see why I don't see why Missourians would be like, nah, I don't want a $15 minimum wage. No thanks. I'm good on that. I think people will probably definitely vote for themselves and their loved ones to have a bit of a higher base pay. Um, but we'll see. Let's see. While we're on this topic, I got a lot of tabs pulled up. Uh, Let me see. Give me a sec, y'all. Give me a moment. I'm trying to stick to the ballot measures right now, to the ballot initiatives rather. Um. Oh. Oh, let's go to Arizona. I got Arizona pulled up right here, but let me see. Okay, I will go to Arizona. I had an article for I'll type that in while we go over this. I guess it wasn't working. Oh, you don't need a license to carry in Missouri. Oh shit, shit. I've been gone for a long time. It's even more dangerous than I thought. It's even more dangerous than I thought. Well, damn. Oh, but we got a fellow Missouri brother in here. All right. We'll pull this up for Arizona, who's also voting on abortion, but that's also on the Missouri ballot. But it wasn't in that last article, so we'll check that out. Okay, Arizona voters will be voting on abortion in November. Uh, no, I was gonna click lit, but no, we're not gonna do that. Arizona for Abortion Access, an organization working to put abortion access in Arizona's constitution, officially received a place on the November ballot. Proposition 139. Hold on. There we go. My bad. I had to reply to something real quick. The proposition states that an individual is entitled to an abortion until fetal viability, and in some cases afterwards, if it is essential to the individual's physical and mental well-being. Although having over 577,000 verified signatures from Arizona voters, their place on the ballot is not quite secure. Damn, 577,000. The one we saw in Missouri was 100, what was it, 162,000 or something, 160 something thousand, I think it was. They have two lawsuits that could unseat their initiative. The first of which they filed against the Arizona legislature after being denied their request to change the language on the informational pamphlet sent out along with the ballot to say fetus instead of unborn human being. Unborn human being is language that is used frequently by anti-abortion folks, and we feel that description falls outside of the law's requirements that it be neutral. Yeah, that's not a neutral way to phrase that at all. Arizona for Abortion Access won the initial legal battle, but the legislature appealed, leaving up to the Supreme Court to decide. Uh, The ruling is just plain wrong and clearly partisan. This is a quote. It's clearly partisan if the language of the law is not acceptable. Mm. Additionally, a pro-life organization. Man, these people, they're not. I mean, obviously they're not playing about it because Roe was reversed and all these state by state efforts to, you know, criminalize abortion and make it illegal. But they really aren't goofing off, man. These people have been adamant about this for decades. They sued Arizona for abortion access with two claims. One being that those circulating the petitions to gain signatures were unqualified to do so, and the other being that the description of the amendment on the petition was misleading. All right, well, we'll keep our eyes on this. November 5th, abortion access is on the ballot. Hold on, let me see. Missouri abortion. Hold on. Bow. Okay, here we go. Back to the Kansas City Star where we just left. When you got to get the fuck out of Dodge. 99 cents for 1 month. No, thank you. No. No. Oh, okay, no. I got to click on something else. We're not doing this. Here, we'll go to NBC. We will go to NBC and do it there. We going to do it there. Abortion rights initiative will appear on Missouri's November ballot. An amendment that would enshrine abortion access in Missouri's constitution will appear on the state's general election ballot. And again, there's a good chance. I think Missouri voters will probably vote to protect that. I mean, I could be wrong, but we'll see. I think there's a good chance that people will be like, no, you guys are going a little too far. You're doing a little too much. Ashcroft, a Republican, deemed that the petitions to qualify the initiatives for the ballot had the sufficient number of signatures. He also approved other initiatives for the November ballot, including one of minimum wage and earned paid sick time, and which we just went over, and as well as one on sports wagering. If approved, the initiative would amend the state's constitution to establish a right to make decisions about reproductive health care, remove the state's current restrictions on abortion, allow the regulation of reproductive health care to improve a patient's health, and require the government not to discriminate against people providing or seeking reproductive health care. Boom. Yes, indeed. Man, ballot initiatives are something else. Ballot initiatives definitely come in the clutch. You know what I mean? They definitely come in clutch. And also what ballot initiatives have shown is that Republican voters really overall, really overall are not in favor of these strict abortion bans. This is not what everyday average people want because it's ridiculous. The ballot would also protect abortion rights up until fetal viability around the 24th week of pregnancy, except to protect the life or health of the mother. And again, usually when women get abortions, it's usually as soon as they figure out that they're pregnant. For most people that I know who have gotten an abortion, it's almost always right when they find out that they're pregnant, which is usually around the 6 weeks. You know what I'm saying? So, which is why the 6-week bans are basically just full out ban on abortion because if a woman's like a week late for her period, that could, I'm not a woman, but that could be kind of normal, like I'm sure that sometimes, I'm sure, women's menstrual cycles aren't always the same every month. So, about that 6th week, you're like, okay, I think something might be going on here. I'm 2 weeks late, you know what I'm saying? And then boom, you find out. Which again is why the 6-week bans are effectively just an all-out ban on abortion. Let's see where abortion rights could be on the ballot this fall: Arizona, Colorado, Florida, Maryland, Missouri, Nevada, New York. Why is it on New York? I guess to enshrine it in the state, just in case these crazy right wingers take more power. I guess. South Dakota will have ballot measures to protect and expand. All right, the dark blue. So it's already on the ballot. Let's see if I know my states: Nevada, Arizona, Colorado, South Dakota, Missouri, Florida, New York, Massachusetts. Arkansas. I think that's Arkansas. What state is this? What state is this? I don't remember. Damn it. Okay, so what's the state underneath South Dakota? I don't know my geography. Okay, whatever state this is, whatever that is, maybe that's Arkansas. And then here, boom, we got Montana right there. But I can't remember what this state is. Y'all got to help me out. I'm having a bit of a slow moment right now. I don't know my states. Speaking of education, my ass needs to go back to school. Clearly, I'm a political analyst, and I'm like, what state is this? Oh shit, that's funny as hell. If you can't make fun of yourself, right? If in Nebraska, thank you, Margarita. It's Nebraska. If you can't laugh at yourself, right? All right. So it could potentially be in Nebraska. I'm having a good time. Now what? Okay, now we're gonna get into this clips from this ridiculous interview that Trump did with Elon Musk. I listened to the whole thing. I listened to the whole thing while I was cleaning up and putting stuff away and doing X, Y, Z. It was he just talked and talked and talked and talked for 2 hours nonstop. Elon Musk barely said a word. And when Elon did say something, it was dumb. Like at one point, Elon Musk literally said, this dude at one point, state of denial, exactly. Look at that. That's perfect. See, y'all smarter than me, man. I should be listening to y'all. Y'all shouldn't be listening to me. I've been thoroughly exposed in this stream right now. But what was I saying? Oh yeah, at one point Elon Musk literally said when he was at the border, he said the border was like a World War Z apocalypse. And he personally saw people just streaming over the border, just unchecked. And many of them didn't look like nice people. He had to throw that one in there. Many of them didn't look like nice people. I don't know if y'all have seen World War Z. But even before Elon Musk said that, one of the ways I used to make fun of Republicans would be like, y'all act like the immigration is World War Z. Here we go. We gonna check this out real quick. Hopefully we'll be all right. I think we should be. So this right here, what we're about to look at is what Republicans imagine. Lady fucking T, I don't have a Patreon yet. I will make one soon. I hadn't made one yet just because I just wasn't quite there, but I will make one soon. And I'll set it up for something specific. Like the Patreon won't just be like, hey, send me money, but it'll be something, it'll be for some specific cause that we're doing. Y'all know I got mental health programming. I'd like to create more mental health resources for people. So stuff like that. But yes, what we're about to watch, this right here is what Republicans imagine that the border is like. This is what they imagine. These people are just streaming over the border absolutely unchecked, just like this.
I'm running out of time. I need
Just
specifics.
like this. This is
I
how
need
it
answers.
goes.
I don't have answers. All you can do is find a way to hide.
This is how it goes down, just like this. Here come the Mexicans. Here come the Mexicans with their burritos and their fentanyl. Burritos and fentanyl and cocaine. Forming over the border just like that. Don't make a difference how big.
It's too loud. It's too loud.
Your wall be damned. That's exactly how they imagine it. Next thing you know, it doesn't matter how high you build the wall; they're just gonna come tumbling over it. But yeah, he literally said that though. He said it's like a World War Z apocalypse. This is the wealthiest man in the world on paper, because he's not actually the wealthiest man in the world. On paper, he's the wealthiest man in the world. But there's definitely people who have more tangible wealth than he does. Nonetheless, he's one of the wealthiest people on earth, and this is how he thinks. That's how he thinks. It's a groundswell. All right, let's see. Before we get into that, though, I mean, because we got a lot of stuff to look at. The Iron Dome. That's one of the things that Trump was talking about. He said there's going to be an Iron Dome over the whole entire United States. We're going to build an Iron Dome of missiles just like Israel has. Yes, 31-foot ladder. You know what I'm saying? That's all you need. That's all they need. But the people coming over the border, they don't need ladders. They'll just stumble and stampede over one another. Now we have let's see. Oh yeah, speaking of the Iron Dome, Donald Trump in his interview with Elon Musk or whatever that was, he said that we're going to build an Iron Dome over the whole country, which would cost more than the GDP of the entire fucking planet. All 50 states are going to have missiles ready to go. I mean, this guy, he's so stupid. Yo, this dude, did you see his hat? Did you see his hat? This dude's hat, on the side of his hat, it was a 45-47. So he's the 45th, 46th, and 47th president of the United States.
Victory in November. The years of war, weakness, and chaos will be over. I don't have wars. I had no wars other than ISIS, which I defeated, but that was a war that was started. We had no wars. I could stop wars with a telephone call. I could stop wars with just a telephone call.
Donald Trump can stop wars with a telephone call, he says. That's all it's going to take. That's all it's going to take. Just a telephone call, nothing more. Yeah. It will look. I mean, if all it takes to stop a war is a telephone call, then why can't someone else make that call? Because that someone else isn't Trump. Only he can do it.
If properly stated, it would never start. We will replenish our military and build an Iron Dome missile defense system to ensure that no enemy can strike our homeland. And this great Iron Dome will be built entirely in the USA. We're going to build it in the USA. And Wisconsin. Wisconsin.
Oh, there you go. Do an email. See that's really who we need. Fuck Donald Trump and fuck Kamala Harris. Well, we need to get Mike Boy in there. Just send out a mass email. Carbon copy everybody. Next war finished. War ended. There you go. Clean it up. That's all we need. Fuck all this MAGA bullshit. You know what I'm saying? we shit. You can email. I can do it by fax. Motherfuckers don't even use fax no more. That's what type of time we on. That's what time it is. Send out a mass text message. Next thing you know, all the nuclear warheads will be disarmed.
Just like I gave you that massive ship contract, and you're doing a very nice job, Governor, right? Thank you, Governor. And they're doing a great job. In fact, I had a little design change. We gave them a tremendous for essentially what we used to call destroyers. These are now the most beautiful. They look like yachts. I said, we have to take the bow and we have to make it a little nicer and a little point at the top instead of a flat
Make it a little nicer, a little.
And the people at the shipyard said,
what did he say? He said, we got to take it. We got to make it a little nicer. We got to make it point at the top. We got to. He never should have became president. He could have just done endless world tours of doing this. And he would be so much better off right now.
These are now the most beautiful. They look like yachts. I said, we have to take the bow and we have to make it a little nicer and a little point at the top instead of a flat nose. And the people at the shipyard said, this guy sort of knows what he's doing. We have most beautiful ships, right, Governor? And everybody's sitting over there. And it was a big contract that everybody wanted. I gave it to Wisconsin, but we're going to have a lot of that built right here in the state of Wisconsin and all other states. Israel has an Iron Dome. They have a missile defense system. 342 missiles were shot into Israel.
God, this is so
and only one got through a little bit. It was badly wounded. It fell to the ground, but most of them are. And Ronald Reagan wanted this many years ago, but we really didn't have the technology many years ago. Remember, they called it Starship, spaceship, anything to mock him. but he was a very good president. Very, very good. But now we have unbelievable technology. And why should other countries have this and we don't? No, no, no. We're going to build an iron dome over our country, and we're going to be sure that nothing can come and harm our people.
Bro, he said this at the RNC. And then he said it on the phone call the other night, too. Again, do you know how much this would cost? How big is Israel? Israel is like the size of Rhode Island. I don't even know how. I don't even. Yeah, I hope this email finds you well. Disarm everything, God, right now. Just disarm it all. Yes, exactly. Exactly, Tito. That's what he's thinking. You just press a button, and then instantaneously a giant dome, a metal dome, just boom, closes up the whole country. And now, rockets and missiles can't do nothing. They're just going to hit the dome. That's exactly how this works. But again, he said this while he was talking to Elon. Is that there's the hat. There it is, 45 through 47, which of course, you can't, it doesn't work that way. You can't have 3 presidential terms, but Donald Trump can. This dude got 45-47. I was never not the president. Again, Israel can have an iron dome because Israel is the size of this office that I'm in right now. Israel is not a big country, but the United States is massive. This is a huge country. France is like the size of Texas. I mean, he's just so stupid. Okay. Oh, I had the abortion ballot on my that I already pulled up from Missouri. It was a different article. Hold on, let me see. But we don't need to go over that again because we already have. Trump is going to hold a news conference on Thursday in Bedminster, New Jersey, so he's going to do it at his golf course. And there's a decent chance that that's going to be either it's going to be ridiculous or really low energy, just like this. Because this is what I was talking about. Hold on, let me pull this up. This is what I was talking about when we first started the stream. Trump did like a brief press thing today, and he just seemed like he's not feeling it. He kind of seems depressed. There's a new poll out that shows us doing very well, but there's not. But even at that, why are you talking about that? All right, let's see. Can't say. Trump refuses to answer question on his claim Kamala Harris crowds were faked.
And you said Harris's crowd sizes were AI and that there weren't people there. There's all kinds of video evidence and people who were there who have proven that false. Can you tell us about why you made that claim?
Well, I can't say what was there, who was there. I can only tell you about ours. We have the biggest crowds ever in the history of politics. We have crowds that nobody's ever seen before.
Oh my God. She asked him about something that he said and that he just posted that the whole world is making fun of him for. And he said, well, I can't really tell you about that, but we have the biggest crowd sizes anyone's ever seen before. This guy, he doesn't have what it takes to change. This is all he's going to do for the rest of the campaign. And honestly, this is what else has Donald Trump ever really done? What has he ever done differently than this? Because on the one hand, like a lot, it's sure you could say, well, he needs to campaign differently. He should focus on policy. He shouldn't be attacking Kamala on her race. But when has he not done that? Even before he ran for president in 2015, that's who he was. He's always done stuff like that. When has he ever been focused? When has he ever been coherent? Never. He's more incoherent now, but this is just par for the course. This is what he always does. He's always doing this shit.
And you said Harris's crowd sizes were AI and that there weren't people there. There's all kinds of video evidence and people who were there who've proven that false. Can you tell us about why you made that claim?
Well, I can't say what was there, who was there. I can only tell you about ours. We have the biggest crowds ever in the history of politics. We have crowds that nobody's ever seen before, and we continue to have that. We have a level of enthusiasm that nobody's seen before. They want to make America great. No one's ever seen anything like anything that I've been a part of before. Anything that I'm a part of, anything that I've touched, it's unlike anything anyone's ever experienced.
But look at how deflated he looks. No, not even looks, he sounds.
Great again. That's what's happening. We're going to make it great again. Right now, we have a failing nation. We're in a failing nation, and becoming.
I love what he does. And we have a failing nation, and
in many ways, a third world nation, and we're not going to let that happen. Thank you very much. Thank you.
He said there's lots of video evidence that shows that her crowd sizes aren't fake. Well, I can't really tell you about that. I don't know. All I can tell you is that our crowd sizes are even bigger. Whatever her crowd size is, ours are even bigger. Truly one of a kind. Truly one of a kind. Hold on, I'm going to see if I can pull up some more stuff from this, because that's kind of how the whole thing went. Hold on one sec. 6 days ago, because I saw some more clips from it, but if I can't find it real fast, then it's gonna move on because we still got a bunch of tabs over. Trump press conference today. Trump to hold another press conference at campaign criticizes Harris. Is this live? Hold up. Is he talking right now? No. Oh, okay, never mind. We're just gonna move on. But I mean, that's pretty much how the whole thing was. It was just him sitting there talking about yeah, at least he's orange this time. He didn't forget to paint himself this morning. He didn't forget that. He just he has like a just orange tan shower. He just goes in there with a shower cap on, and he just lets it rinse him. Just lets it fall on him. Just lets it rinse him down. He didn't forget to press the orange tan button while he was in the shower today. So he's not that senile. Okay. Yeah. And you know, as I'm sure y'all have seen, he talking about Kamala Harris looks like Melania. Yeah, I listened to the whole thing, and the whole thing was like this. And he didn't stop talking once.
More from Donald Trump's conversation with Elon Musk. At one point, Trump decided to weigh in on this. Time Magazine's recent feature, and specifically the cover artwork that pictured his opponent, Kamala Harris.
She is terrible. She's terrible. But she's getting a free ride. I saw a picture of her on Time Magazine today. She looks like the most beautiful actress ever to live. It was a drawing. And actually, she looked very much like.
Yeah, and that's like a signature Trump thing that he does all the time. And
our great first lady, Melania. She didn't look like Camilla. That's right. But of course, she's a beautiful woman, so we'll leave it at that.
Camilla.
Okay, that's another pronunciation of her name.
He didn't look. She doesn't look anything like Camilla, but
Camilla. Guys, what like? What? There it is. This is Kamala Harris, beautifully drawn on the cover.
She looks nothing like Melania Trump.
Time Magazine. It looks like her. It looks like Kamala Harris.
It looks like Melania.
Does it look like Melania Trump?
I think he was trying to say they were both beautiful. And he's wasting time, though. But he does have a fair point that Vice President Harris is getting.
Hey, somebody got to do it, Tito. Somebody got to do it, man. You know, if not me, then who? But yeah, it was I was laughing very hard throughout the whole thing. I was like, what? At one point he said, which I don't think anyone highlighted because it was 2 hours of nonsense. At one point, this man said that if Kamala Harris wins the election, then 50 to 60 million undocumented immigrants are going to pour into the country over the next 4 years. 50 to 60 million people are going to flood in here in 4 years if she wins. Oh yeah, Kamala looks great. She looks great. She definitely good looking. Shit, I'd take her out, or I'd let her take me out. You can take me out, you know what I'm saying? I'll make you feel young again. You can give me a position in your administration, you know what I'm saying? We can hook that up real nice and good. But yeah, no, she looks great. Let's see, what is this? Okay, no, we'll look at that in a sec. More from hilarious parts from the interview. All right, we got. Hold on, my bad. Trump rambles his way. Elon Musk said like 2 words the whole time. Oh, this is a video of him actually doing it, just talking into the phone.
Yeah, and she looks like Melania. She looks really beautiful. The way that they drew her up. She
Just talking into the phone. Just unchecked. Just nobody.
I mean, I look at what you do. You walk in and you just say,
Oh, this is where he said this part right here. This is the part where he was like, basically, fuck unions. And if he was like, oh yeah, Elon, you don't get around with people who try to strike and unionize. You know, as soon as they come in there, you fire them. You get their asses right on out of there. I really admire you for that. Trump was on some panel some years ago, and he was like,
you know, you got to shut down the unions because
something.
you know, you keep on raising the rates and eventually the workers are making more than the people who own the company.
But yes, this is him where he was like, screw the unions.
you do. You walk in and you just say,
Listen,
You walk in and you just you kick their asses right on out of there.
I mean, I look at what you do. You walk in and you just say, you want to quit? They go on strike. I won't.
Elon's like, oh, yeah, I sure do. I sure do fuck things up everywhere I go.
Mention the name of the company, but they go on strike and you say, that's okay. You're all gone. You're all gone. So every one of you is gone. And you are the greatest. You would be very good. Kamala was the border czar. Now she's denying it. Everything that I do, she's saying she was strong on the border. We're going to be strong. Well, she doesn't have to say it. She could close it up right now. They could do things right now. It's horrible. No tax on tips, and all of a sudden she's making a speech and saying there will be no tax on tips. I said that months ago.
No tax on tip shit is not going to happen. Just so everyone knows, that is not happening. in fact, it's so not happening that she probably ain't gonna say it that often because that shit is not going to happen. People who a lot of the money that I make is through tips, and Uncle Sam is definitely gonna be getting that money. he's definitely gonna be getting that money. So no, if you're a tip worker, fret not. Uncle Sam is gonna keep his hand out. For a fascism curious billionaire who loves cuddling up to right-wing loons. I mean, that's what he is. Elon Musk he's just goofy. He's just a silly guy. He really is. And he's a fraud. Most people know that now, or enough people know that now. What he said, like Trump was saying, a billion people tuned in. He said 1 billion people tuned into the interview. That didn't happen. And even if it did, I don't think that would be very good for you, because if 1 billion people tuned in and heard that, then yeah, that's 1 billion people laughing at you. But he's so ridiculous. He's such a ridiculous person. 1 billion people tuned in to listen to this. Oh my God. And yeah, and look at it in the room that he's in, where there's this painting of himself. Yeah, exactly. He was like, ha ha, You sure know how to stick it to those workers, Elon. And to another thing that Trump said in the middle of the interview, I'm it was it was a little bit past the middle of the interview. The interview was already like over halfway done. Um, and Donald Trump, someone who says that, "Oh, I don't know anything about Project 2025. I have nothing to do with that." Well, part of 2020 Project 2025, and really, I mean, just a big piece of the Republican agenda overall is to get rid of the Department of Education. And in the middle of the interview, Donald Trump was like, "We're going to phase out." What did he say? He said, "We're going to close the Department of Education and take it back to the states." Like, no, okay, but I thought that you didn't know anything about Project 2025, but that's definitely a big part of it. And it's like, dude, you're not supposed to say that out loud. People, we need public schools. We need better public schools. Getting rid of the Department of Education would be complete chaos. What, the 50 states with thousands of cities in every state? There's thousands of cities, or at least hundreds of cities in every state. With no federal oversight over all of that, do you know how big of a disaster that would be? I mean, it's not going to happen, but I mean, these people, they're crazy. These people are crazy, man. Let's get rid of public education. Like, what? Donald Trump with a portrait of himself and his advisors. Imagine what they were thinking during the interview, but you can't tell him nothing or he'll just get rid of you. He got Teddy Roosevelt in the background. Well, that's at a speech, I think. Yeah, because he's so much like Teddy.
Teddy got shot too. Teddy got shot and I got shot. We both survived. I'm a warrior. I'm a fighter.
Um, I mean, guys, honestly, I got polls pulled up, but at this point, Kamala is so consistently ahead in the polls that I mean, I don't why I mean, not why look at them, but in a sense of this stream, it's really not that much point in spending a lot of time on them unless they start to change every week. She's just more and more and more up in the polls. So it's honestly at this point, it's redundant. We could go over this poll and that poll, but in this poll, she's up by 9. And in that poll, she's up by 8. And in this poll, she's up by 11. Like that's how all the polls are. Swing states are starting to look like they may slip blue. Florida's in play. Ohio might be in play. Um, this is what's going down. Now, if there's one thing that's true about life, you say, yes, my good public school set me up for success. But yeah, I mean, the idea of there being no federal oversight over it, like, what is wrong with these people, man? Like, what do you really think is you're gonna get out of this shit? If they got their way, this country would collapse. If these people got their way, if take women out of the job market, take black and brown people, greatly demote them out of the workforce, get rid of public school oversight. What? The economy would tank overnight if we just took women and minorities out of the workforce. They're stupid. But again, like I was starting to allude to, foreshadowing is real, people. You don't all oftentimes you can see the foreshadowing in 2020 hindsight. Life really is filled with foreshadowing everywhere. If you can think back on your life, like, so much of what I've done, so much of what I wanted to do has all led me here, like, inevitably. You know what I'm saying? Like, everything I've ever gone through, it's kind of like I saw it coming in some type of way. Like, life is just interesting like that. You look back and be like, oh yeah, the signs were all over the place. But this is something that Nikki Haley said not so long ago. Again, life is filled with foreshadowing. And when she said Kamala Harris would be elected president if Donald Trump wins the nomination.
The party that gets rid of their 80-year-old candidate is the party that will win. There will be.
This is literally what's happening. The Democrats got rid of their 80-year-old candidate, and now just a swift reversal.
A female president of the United States. It will either be me or it will be Kamala Harris. If Republicans nominate Donald Trump, it will be Kamala Harris.
Okay, Nikki Haley, back in February when she was running against former President Trump for the Republican nomination, she has since endorsed him and said that she will vote for him because she agrees with him.
No, because she's a coward. That's why she said that. But it's just funny to look at that. When things are so foreshadowed, even outside, other areas of your life. It could be a career, your career path that you're on. It could be the type of relationship you're in. It could be where you're living. So much, all of that. So much of it can be foreshadowed by little by little tidbits in your life. Oh, we got Vincent. What's going on? We got brother Vincent. Vincent being Vincent. What's up, man? How you doing? What's going on? And you've gotten me angry. CNN's Harry Enton destroys Trump's complete garbage claim about polls. All the polls are fake except the ones that have me winning, which none of them have me winning in now.
When you look at what voters are actually seeing out on the ground, what they're saying, the thing that we've been hearing is Tim Walz leading the charge, calling Trump and Vance weird. And that's been this thing. Vance was asked about it by Dana Bash yesterday, and he was saying, that they were projecting. Is it sticking with voters, or is it kind of something that just we are talking about? How do voters see it?
Yeah, I'm not the puppet. You're the puppet, right? That's what, Donald Trump is trying to argue. But there was this fascinating poll question that was asked by Ipsos, essentially, who does weird better describe, either Kamala Harris or Donald Trump? And unfortunately for the Republican nominee, more voters said it better described Donald Trump than Kamala Harris by a double-digit margin. And that, of course, just goes along with what we've been seeing in the Google searches, which is weird, has been climbing, and it's been associated with the Republican vice presidential nominee, the Republican Party.
Tim Walz for the W, man. Tim Walz is saving this country, literally. He's saving the Democratic Party, juicing them with relevancy and strategy and swag and some swagger. He giving them some riz, you know what I'm saying? Tim Walz for the rescue.
And the Make America Great Again movement. It is a rare attack that actually seems to be sticking and has truly entered the zeitgeist.
So it's working.
It's working. There is no doubt that it is working. And the way you know it's working is because J.D. Vance and Donald Trump continue to try deflecting it. They bring it up. They try and say that the Democratic ticket is weird. And the fact is Donald Trump does not like getting called anything that's negative, and he especially doesn't like being called weird.
Yeah, well, and the other part.
Did y'all see that when he was like,
No, they don't call me weird. They call JD Vance weird, not me.
oh my God. That's damn, that's rough, man. JD is just so embarrassing. I feel bad for his wife, man. I know she is like, oh no, why?
This is that, Harris has not done a major interview yet or a press conference. She's taken questions outside of Air Force Two, but this is something that we hear. I mean, Vance said it every point he was asked yesterday. He kind of turned back to her lack of an interview. When it comes to what,
it's such a weak line of attack. You're just complaining. You're just whining. When you say, hey, she won't do an interview, you motherfuckers are losing. She can do what she wants. Who cares? Like, she is not going to do what Republicans say that she should do. Like, it doesn't matter what she does. Republicans are going to be like, oh, she's not running for Republicans. She's going to do interviews. She's not going to not do them? And especially if she wins, she's definitely going to do interviews after that. Of course she will. But right now, hate it or love it, Kamala can do whatever the fuck she wants because she's winning. So it's just, these people are just babies, man. They're such losers.
voters, how they view this? What are they looking at going into the convention in terms of Harris's view? The fact that they haven't heard from her specifically on immigration.
You're talking about Kamala's not doing interviews. Why does Trump only have 1 or 2 offices open in key states that he needs to win versus Harris's 40 offices? Oh, she's not interviewing. She knocking on doors though. She got people calling for her, though. She got way more people volunteering for her, though. She's beating you in the polls, though. She's beating you in fundraising, though. Like, what are you talking about?
On the economy, on these big issues.
Right. I mean, look, I think one of the advantages Kamala Harris has going for at this particular point is she can kind of be everything to everybody because she hasn't been well defined yet. Interestingly enough, in those New York Times Siena College polls, what we saw is, do you have a clear vision for America? We do see that more Americans, the clear majority, 60% say Trump. Fewer say that for Kamala Harris, but it's still 53%. It's still a majority, despite the fact that she's only been on the campaign trail for a limited time. So this is an issue on which Donald Trump has an edge. It's something for Harris to work on, but it's not perhaps the deep hole you might expect it to be.
And you're not Daniel Dale, but on Trump's claim that pollsters are changing their methods.
This is complete garbage.
Also, she about to he said they exist in complete garbage, whatever he said. But yeah, what is his clear vision? What you know, the only reason this is here is because she hasn't put out her policy proposals yet, but she's going to do that. Like, it's not like she has to do it. She's going to do it, and then it'll go up because people are like, oh, well, I get it. But see, this poll is not, you know, this poll isn't Wisconsin or Pennsylvania or Florida or any of these states or Georgia. That's not what this is, because at the end of the day, Donald Trump's vision is, we're going to do the biggest mass deportation anyone's ever seen before. That's what his vision for America is. I mean, put this in any type of different perspective, right? Let's say this is a sports team, and you're like, oh, well, they're beating me, they're winning, and they should be doing it. Like, these people are pathetic, man. They really are.
Deep hole you might expect it to be.
And you're not Daniel Dale, but on Trump's claim that pollsters are changing their methods.
This is complete garbage. All right. Now you've gotten me angry here. You've gotten me angry. Jovial Harry has become angry Harry because the fact is Joe Biden complained about the polls when they were bad for him. Now Donald Trump is complaining about the polls when they're bad for him. The pollsters haven't changed their methods. What has happened is the voters have changed their views.
Someone who tracks polling is sticking up for polling.
I stick up for polling. That's what I am. Harry Enton, a person.
And again, Kamala's out. She's outside of the margin of errors now. And you know, it's because people are tired of this shit. People are tired of, it's not just Trump. People are tired of Trump. People are tired of Biden. People are tired of the whole, you know, people are tired of this whole era of politics. And right now, since our system works the way it works, Kamala and Walz are the ticket to move forward, not Donald Trump. Joe Biden was not the ticket to move forward, which is why he was losing. You know, so again, it's not even, it's an indictment on the era that we're in, because again, it's not just Trump that everybody was sick of. People were sick of Joe Biden. You know, like it's just, these people are fucking losers, man. All right, let's see. Because you know and then here we go. What's the Trump campaign doing? Well, they doing a whole lot of bull. I don't have it pulled up, but there was something where somebody in Trump's campaign responded to someone who was asking about why does Trump sound like he's slurring, and they said, "Must be your shitty ears. Get your hearing checked." Donald Trump's campaign responded to somebody like that. Must be your shitty hearing. Like, what? Like, what is this? What is even happening right now? Oh, we got brother Donald in the building. What's going on? Definitely good to have you here. Yeah, we've been going. We've been rolling. I've been, most of my pretty much all my streams since I've been back in St. Louis have been roughly 2 hours. 2 hours or close to 2 hours. And we've been having a good time. You know, and again, meanwhile, this is the type of stuff that Trump's campaign is posting. Import the world, import the third world, become the third world. I'm gonna see if I can make this bigger. You know, that's what they're tweeting right now. That's what they're tweeting. Import the third world, become the third world. And of course, the third world is black. Black and brown. Look at all these black people. Look at your neighborhood. Oh my God, bro. Your neighborhood under Trump. A white picket fence. Looks like good God-fearing white people live here. You got the American flag up in front of their lawn. You know those people are good God-fearing white people. But then when Kamala Harris gets into the administration, all of a sudden there's going to be nothing but black people. Black people from all over the world flooding her neighborhoods like World War Z. You know, this is Trump's vision. You know, everybody knows what his vision for America is. And then this is just pathetic, man. It's pathetic because at the end of the day, you know, Obama deported more people than Trump did, and at the end, and also Republicans rejected the border bill. They rejected it. Joe Biden had worked with the Senate and for quite some time to get some type of border security measure passed. And then when it came time to pass it, Donald Trump was like, "No, you can't do this because if you do it, it'll be a win for Joe Biden." That's what happened. So, you know, all of this shit is just ridiculous. And again, the country's tired of it. People are tired of this shit. This whole era. Harris campaign bashes Trump Musk interview as self-obsessed rich guys who cannot run a live stream. Again, man, the people running Kamala's campaign are they are on it. They are on it. And again, Tim Walz is he's really doing he's transforming the country in a lot of ways. And what well, maybe that's a bit much to say, but what he's doing is he's injecting energy, he's injecting passion back into the base, which is important. You need that. You really need that. So we got okay, what was this? Trump slurring says he's okay with climate change and rising sea levels because he thinks he'll have more oceanfront property. Yeah, he said this a bunch of times. Trump says this shit all the time.
You know, the biggest threat is not global warming, where the ocean's going to rise one-eighth of an inch over the next 400 years. And you'll have more oceanfront property, right? The biggest threat is not that. The biggest threat is nuclear warming.
Nuclear warming. Yep, and here's where he was like, "Ha, you sure know how to fire those people who just want better pay." Fuck you mean you want more money? It's my money.
This cutter. I mean, I look at what you do. You walk in and you just say, "You want to quit?" They go on strike. I won't mention the name of the company, but they go on strike, and you say, "That's okay. You're all gone. You're all gone." So everyone is gone. And you are the greatest. You would be very good. Oh, you would love it. But you know, if you look at Argentina.
Exactly, Fritz. He sounded like that the whole interview. Because when I first heard him, I was like, is there a sound issue going on, or his dentures out of his mouth? What's happening? And again, and I was just mentioning this. This is where he was like, "I want to close the Department of Education," but of course he says he doesn't know anything about Project 2025. But even at that, it's like, dude, you don't say this out loud. This is not something that anybody is going to be in favor of. You want to close federal oversight of public education across the whole country? Like, come on, man. Why is it doing this? I don't want to go. Oh, we have to go to X for this video. Of course. Well, we're not going to do that. I don't know why it's wanting us to do that here. They said Kamala HQ, our statement on ... whatever that was. Again, they're just trolling. They're trolling these people into irrelevancy. That's really what's happening. It's like the right is getting a taste of their own medicine in a lot of ways. And again, this really is all set off by Tim Walz's influence. Tim Walz brought in that these people are weird, and the campaign just took off with that shit, and it's working beautifully because these people are weird. They're weird people. They're strange. They said Donald Trump's extremism and dangerous Project 2025 agenda is a feature, not a glitch, of his campaign, which was on full display for those unlucky enough to listen in tonight during whatever that was on X.com. And now here we have Nikki Haley desperately begging Republicans to stop bitching and moaning and complaining about everything. We got so life. What's going on, brother? How you doing? How's that? You're right, exactly. You got that long money. You just get some teeth implanted in your shit. You don't even need no dentures. Just hammer some new teeth in. You know what I'm saying? Just like they used to do back in the slavery days. Well, the slave they really did that. You know, slave died. Oh well, we don't want to. Let's use their teeth for our fake teeth. That was a practice that went down back in the day. Man, American slavery was some shit, man. We gonna have to do an episode on that. It was some shit. damn. Because look, listen, before the Atlantic slave trade was outlawed, especially in the Caribbean, what they would do is basically just routinely work slaves to death, because it was cheaper to do that. It was cheaper to just continuously import human bodies and work them into complete exhaustion, let them die, and then dump them. That was cheaper than providing housing and food and medicine and all that stuff for them. But then when the Atlantic slave trade was outlawed, especially in America, had to get more creative. You can't just continuously ship people in. So what they did is they created this just incredibly sophisticated system. American slavery was extremely sophisticated. It wasn't no backwater shit that, oh, well, people in the South all no, this whole country, the backbone of this country was slave labor, and it was incredibly sophisticated how it worked. But yeah, we'll get that down. We'll talk about that another time, because I could go on and on about how that shit functioned. How how banks in the North would give slave owners loans so that they could buy slaves. It'll pay us back later. All these investments. The whole damn thing was connected, man. They used to breed people. Black people were bred and marched around the country for hundreds of miles in chains. We're gonna march y'all from Mississippi to Georgia, and it would be slaves as far as the eye could see. As far as you could see, it's just people in single lines being marched from state to state like cattle. But we'll talk about that another time. Nikki Haley begs GOP to quit whining about Kamala Harris and start attacking her words. Well, they won't do that. So, good luck with that. They're not going to do it.
That early on, I said a vote for Joe Biden is a vote for Kamala Harris. I was always running against Kamala Harris. Republicans should not be surprised that we are now running against Kamala Harris. It was her all the time. There was no way Joe Biden, in the condition that...
Yeah, American slavery was unbelievably sophisticated and just fucked up, man. Slavery period is fucked up, but this shit here, it was... I recommend y'all read a book called The Half Was Never Told. It's damn.
We saw him could take on the stresses of a presidential election. So, that was something I believed in then. It's why I constantly referred back to her, because I knew that Kamala Harris was the person that we had. And look, what I'll say is it's not an issue of whether I go out and campaign for Donald Trump. He's decided the way he wants to do this. What I will tell you is the Republican Party needs to make a serious shift here. And the first thing is the Republican...
Again, this is the problem, right? There's no shift to be made, because this is what Republicans have been doing for years. Honestly, this is what they've been doing my whole life. It's just gotten progressively worse. But ever since, y'all know Newt Gingrich. Newt Gingrich was doing this thing when I was a baby. But as far as from what I know, he really kind of set off the stick it to the libs, no compromise whatsoever, and that really built off of the culture. But there's no reason to expect Republicans to switch it up, because this is what their game plan has been for decades. They've been doing the same shit for a long time.
Party, Donald Trump, people here at Fox, quit complaining that she's not giving an interview. You don't need an interview from Kamala Harris. I take her at her word. I take her at her word that she wants to raise taxes for households over $100,000, that she wants to add a pharmaceutical tax and a healthcare tax. I take her at her word that she thinks that illegal immigrants should be able to vote and be given driver's licenses.
What?
I take her at her word that she wants to ban fracking and kill a bunch of U.S. jobs. Take her at her...
Fracking's never going to be banned. Are you serious?
word.
Despite the fact that the campaign has...
But again, at least what she's saying is sticking to some type of policy.
Pushed back and put out statements and saying that her positions have changed.
She has said this. Now, what Donald Trump needs to do is go out there and campaign every single day, telling the American people exactly what Kamala Harris has said. We are 80 plus days out. We need him to win. but you got to go out and do the work. And the one thing Republicans have to stop doing, quit whining about her. We knew it was going to be her. She's not going to give an interview. They're going to hold out as long as they can. That's their right. They can do it.
At least she's saying it. At least she's saying it. It's like, guys, not only can, people do whatever they want in a campaign, but she's winning. Like, what? Shut up.
That doesn't mean we can't talk about what she believes in.
But at the same time, Nikki, you're a coward for, getting behind Trump at all. You literally could have just sat this one out. You could have just been like, I ran against Trump because I don't think he's the one. I'm not going to vote in this election, or I'll vote for someone else. Like, she was at the RNC. I stand behind Trump. She said Trump asked me to be here. And then Trump, when she said that, you could see him say, I didn't ask her. She did this herself. Like, oh, that's so embarrassing. It's so embarrassing. Okay, here we go. And then again, y'all just saw the meme where it's like, import the third world, become the third world. So let's see how they yes, Mara, exactly. Like she can't get enough of that taint. You know what I'm saying? She can't get enough of that line between I'm not gonna get too explicit. All right, here we go. We got, hold on, let's see. You said Vin got a shroom. Hey, shit, I need to do me some shrooms, you know what I'm saying? Definitely got to get me some of those. But let's check this out. Let's see what they have to say. Oh, this isn't racist at all. It's just a reality. You don't want black and brown people in your neighborhood because they're just, they'll screw it up, bring the property value down.
I actually appreciate the policy conversation, but this is what the Trump War Room just tweeted earlier today. Import the third world, become the third world. That picture on the left, they're saying your neighborhood under Trump, on the right, your neighborhood under Kamala Harris, and it's a sea of black and brown faces.
I'm sure that's not racist, right?
The
Are
point,
you
the
okay
point
with that?
is,
I think that is showing chaos.
You don't think that's racist?
I don't think that illegal immigration should be about race in any way. It is about, are you entering this country? Are you from China? Or if you're from Europe? If you are from South America?
The image you just saw was racist?
Wait, so how come I don't think that image is racist. I think that they're showing.
It's not racist at all. I'm a white girl.
40% of illegal immigrants.
I mean, you could look at him. He is cringing. You could y'all could have at least brought some people of color in to say it's not racist. You really don't want. You don't want white people saying this. Like it's because it doesn't mean anything. It's hollow when it's coming from someone who isn't a minority of some kind. And he's looking like he is in pain because who was he talking to? I can't remember who it was, but he was making some type of points, and his points were getting butchered. And he had this same face on, like, oh, I want to leave. I want to get out of here. No, it's not racist. Like, oh. This is the worst campaign anyone has ever seen. I don't think anyone alive, I really don't think anyone alive today has ever seen a campaign this bad, at least not in a country like this.
Immigration comes from people who are on visa overstays from other countries that are not coming from there.
Terry, you're right. We need to crack down on that. We need to
then how come if that's really what it's about, then how come Donald Trump doesn't focus on that, but he talks about asshole countries and people of color and the brown and the browning of America and this white replacement theory.
We should focus on all of it.
Okay.
Because illegal immigration talking about message discipline, right? And the ball always, obviously, Trump is the candidate. The ball falls in his court. But this is a social media post from the campaign, okay? The campaign is backing him up on this, racist messaging.
Listen,
that is,
I'm
it's
a
about
minority.
skin color.
I'm
That's
a
what they made
Latino.
it about.
I don't think Republicans look at skin color. I didn't feel it.
Republicans don't look at skin color. Because their color vision doesn't work. They can't tell. They can't tell what's going on. They don't know the difference between green and blue. They have a bit of a tough time distinguishing between reds and yellows.
That in that image. When I saw that image, the first thing I saw was the real contrast that Trump had.
When I saw that image, I couldn't tell what color anyone was. Even my black and white vision doesn't really distinguish between shades of gray and black. I couldn't tell. Everything looks the same color to me, which would actually make me blind. Oh my God. Oh,
Safety versus dangerous.
So you
And
don't.
safety versus dangerous. Everyone in this picture is dark skinned. Safety versus dangerous.
I
is
think
what
that they
San
chose an
Francisco-
image.
No, I don't. Listen,
of
I've been part of the
black
decision
and-
making. I've been part of the
Black
internal
and
decision
brown
making.
migrants
No.
And
to
that-
make a point
No.
about
You were part of the
race.
decision
No, I was
making that
listening-
using photos like
Or to
that.
dog whistle about race.
I've been part of the decision making of those photos,
Yeah.
and being part of that decision making, race never played a role in it. It was what image can help exemplify what you want to say. And when I see that image, I see the debate Trump wants to have. With Trump, you're safe, and with Harris, Waltz, you're unsafe. And that is the image. I think that's. I don't know what the image looks like
down under Biden.
because it's not being reported, guys.
Oh yeah. It's down. It's not being reported. It's all fake. These people, we need a new word for pathetic, because pathetic is not strong enough for what these people are. Dude, it's not being reported. Well, if it's not being reported, whatever your name is, then what are we going to go off of? What you say, what Trump says? I mean, that's essentially what he just said. That's exactly. It's not even implicit. It is blatant. This is blatant racism. Like, it's not being reported. Well, then what should we trust? You know what I'm saying? Like, this is ridiculous. Oh,
It's like, let's be honest about it.
So the FBI and CIA.
It's not being reported. Let's be honest about it. Says this guy who's not giving real numbers because he's full of shit for a paycheck.
I don't know what the image looks like
Down under Biden.
because it's not being reported, guys. Like, let's be honest
So
about it.
the FBI and CIA and police departments all around the nation are saying, keep the numbers down because we want Biden.
If
So
that's your
you're
theory-
saying crime is not being reported?
No, I'm saying if you look at California, Proposition 47, a significant amount of that crime is no longer being reported because laws were passed to say those crimes.
One state. There's 50 states in the country. Let me bring up one state, California. I mean, what do you even say to this?
Don't need to be reported. So that was crimes that are $900.
But that's not. It's not just a California thing. It's,
Sure, but I'm
it's
saying, but
basically
that
across the
phenomenon is
country in
taking
almost all major
sure,
cities.
But that phenomenon is taking place, which started in California. That phenomenon taking
Because
place
we're
in all
over-prisoned.
major cities.
We're the highest prison nation on the planet.
Okay. That's a different conversation we're having.
It's
then.
the same conversation because
Well.
it's the impetus behind the law that was put out there because we have too many Americans who are in jail for nonviolent crimes.
But then you have a prosecutor as your nominee who put people behind bars for smoking marijuana, for possession of marijuana, while she was laughing
People of color.
that she smoked marijuana while listening to Bob
She was
Marley.
very
That's
listen,
so it's.
Wouldn't that be something that Republicans like, though? Like, because based on what they're saying, the fact that Kamala put people in prison should be something that y'all like. Like they don't have an argument here. They're just saying things. You know what I'm saying? Like, again, like you could definitely realistically, objectively, rightfully so, criticize Kamala for her record as you could with anybody. Something about locking people up who smoke weed, yeah, that could be a problem, but not for Republicans. Like, this is incredible.
Which way is it?
I would say this. As a Californian, she was very proud on the record that she put people of color in jail for petty marijuana crimes.
I do not believe she said I put
wrong.
She did not say that. She did not say people in color in jail.
Again, it's like if you sound like a progressive making that's more of a progressive argument. We shouldn't lock people up for substances. More of a libertarian argument. We shouldn't lock people up for doing what they want. But that is not a right-wing argument. A right-wing argument is, oh, it's good that we're putting people in prison for this. Like, it's just. But again, that's really to the wayside of the issue that they're talking about. With these people posted a picture. Import the third world, become the third world. Like, they've got nothing new. Now let's go to Tim Walz. You know what I'm saying? Let's go to our brother Tim Walz. We got again like that's a progressive argument and a good argument. That's a good argument. We shouldn't put people in prison for smoking weed. But We also shouldn't post pictures of a bunch of black people and say, "Oh, you don't want this in your neighborhood. You certainly don't want this." This is just ridiculous, man. This was good because Kamala, I think he said this because Kamala used to work at McDonald's, and Walls asked the crowd to picture Trump making a McFlurry.
Are even attacking me for my record of service. And I just want to say, I'm proud to serve my country, and I always will be. With my dad's encouragement, a guy who served in the Army during the Korean War, I signed up for the Army National Guard 2 days after my 17th birthday. I served for the next 24 years for the same reason all my brothers and sisters in uniform do. We love this country. Then in 2005, I felt the call of duty again, this time of being service to my country in the halls of Congress. My students inspired me to run for that office, and I was proud to make it to Washington. I was a member of the Veterans Affairs Committee and a champion of our men and women in uniform. I'm going to say it again as clearly as I can. I am damn proud of my service to this country. And I firmly believe you should never denigrate another person's service record. To anyone brave enough to put on that uniform for our great country, including my opponent, I just have a few simple words. Thank you for your service and sacrifice.
Not only was it classy for him, for him to thank JD Vance for his service, it was also a very smooth and subtle fuck you. You know what I'm saying? Like, the very effective way to shut it down. And then JD responded to that like, "Thank you for your service too, but you shouldn't have lied. You shouldn't have lied about it." You know what I'm saying? It's like, well, thank you for your service too, JD, but you talk like you were like in battle and in combat, and you weren't. You still served, you still did your thing, but it's just a weak line of attack. Where's the video of him talking about? Oh, where's the video? Well, that was a different video. I guess it was from the beginning, but he said, Vice President Harris grew up in a middle-class family, picked up shifts at that McDonald's as a student. I keep asking this to make a contrast here. Can you simply picture Donald Trump working at a McDonald's trying to make a McFlurry or something? He's so good at this shit. He is really good at campaigning. He's good at governing too. But he's really good at campaigning. That's an effective line. To instead of attacking JD for his service, to thank him for it and kind of move on. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, he really is, man. He's really good at this shit. You said that ice cream machine is normally broken. Right, exactly. It's normally broken, so instead of asking about a McFlurry, can you imagine them flipping burgers? All right, where we at now? Again, we don't really need to watch some of this because, well, one, y'all have already seen it. Yes, McDonald Trump. That's what we got to start calling him now. He likes McDonald's too. He does like McDonald's. Y'all remember when he bought a bunch of Happy Meals and McDonald's and shit for like the championship football team? Here's a bunch of McDonald's. Oh man, he is something else, man. We got G in the building. What's going on? You said he would be in filet of fish heaven. That sounds pretty good right now, actually. A nice filet of fish. Frank Luntz torches ineffective Trump over lack of discipline. He's never had discipline, ever.
Let's dig deeper now with Frank Luntz. He's a pollster and a communications strategist. Frank, always great to have you on. I want to start with Donald Trump taking to X with Elon Musk. The campaign says they were seeking to engage these non-traditional voters, something that's been a focus for the Trump team, these first-time or low propensity voters. How much do you think that demographic can make a difference in November?
It's significant. It's what he did in 2016. It's what campaigns that have been successful over the last decade have done, bringing new people into the electoral pool. It's difficult because there's a reason why they haven't voted. Either they don't care or they don't like anybody, or they don't see that it impacts them in a personal way. I commend the Trump campaign. It's the candidate that's problematic. The candidate who can't stick to.
Why did you just commend the Trump campaign? Well, let me rewind it a few seconds. Why is he commending their horribly ran campaign?
Over the last decade have done.
Frank Luntz is legitimate. He is a legitimate pollster. I'm curious why he's giving credit to his campaign.
Bringing new people into the electoral pool. It's difficult because there's a reason why they haven't voted. Either they don't care or they don't like anybody or they don't see that it impacts them in a personal way. I commend the Trump campaign. It's the candidate that's problematic. The candidate who can't stick to issues like inflation.
I commend the Trump campaign, the people who are sending out posts that say, import the third world, become the third world. They're doing such a great job telling people that, oh, you all heard Trump slurring his words? Must be your shitty ears. They're doing such a great job.
Or immigration. Can't stick to policies that the public supports. That instead he has to deliver a tax against a president who's not running against him. What people think of Joe Biden has no impact on Kamala Harris, and it's actually damaging Trump's efforts right now. At a time,
again, he's never done anything differently. We was, lying Ted Cruz, but now it's not. It's old. It's not funny now. Like every time I hear him say Gavin Newsom, it's like, dude, shut up. Like it's not. It's so lame now. Gavin Newsom. He calls Maggie Haberman maggot. What does he call her? Maggot. He-Man or some Haberman, some stupid shit like that. And it's like, dude, shut up. It's so old and boring now. Let's see. Let me see. More Tim Walls. No, okay, we don't need that in particular. But he's campaigning. I think yesterday or Monday he was in Colorado, I believe. Yes, that's what it is. It's Maggot Hagerman. That's what he calls her, Maggot Hagerman. Like, oh, and what are you? Like, what are you supposed to be? Oh, okay. Speaking of Maggie Haberman, though, this is absolutely hilarious. So after Trump, he lied about being in the helicopter crash with ex-San Francisco Mayor Willie Brown. He said, what did he say? Oh yeah, Maggie Haberman said she called him, like she called Trump. Well, before she called him, Trump called up New York Times and he was complaining and whining that they were calling him out for his lies. And then Maggie Haberman was like, well, can you show me any evidence that this actually happened? And he was like, can you show me any evidence? She said that's how he responded to her. She said, and he mocked me kind of like in a childish voice. And as soon as he said that, I knew exactly what he did. He was like, can you show me some evidence? Evidence, schmevidence. Oh man. But yeah, no, exactly. It's like, are we 5? Maybe 7, you know what I'm saying? But like, Gavin Newsom. Just say his name. Just say his name right, man. Because then this is what he's doing here. What he's doing right here. I hate the fake news media. What'd he say? I spent 2.5 hours last night talking to Elon, a fantastic guy, getting all-time record views, hits, and all the fake news wants to report is that the servers crashed because of the tremendous volume. He's so simple-minded. And he think Donald Trump really thinks that if only the public believes that he attracts the biggest crowd sizes, that's all it's going to take. People will win. Then he'll win. But people just have to see him as the biggest crowd sizes ever. And the show opened a little late, Trump wrote on Truth Social. What they should be reporting was the incredible number of people that were listening. I absolutely hate the fake news media. So bad for our country. And this guy, man. Sean Spicer defends Trump's obsession with crowd size. It says ex-boss wants respect for his movement. He just wants a little respect. Let's see what he has to say. Yeah, he does. He really thinks that like he's killing it. This is the only tune that he has. He ain't got nothing else to do. Sean Spicer. Let's see what Sean Spicer has to say. He just wants a little respect, you know. He lies all the damn time, but he just wants respect for it.
And why is he talking about this? This obsession didn't just start in this cycle.
No, it didn't. And that's the thing. This isn't new. This is all he's ever done.
Remember, back in 2016, he was fighting about his crowd sizes. But ask almost anyone in his inner circle, the people who want him to win, and they will tell you they wish he would stop talking about it. Because it has nothing to do with why anyone would vote for him over Harris.
Sounds good, Trent.
So why would he keep doing it? Can he just not help himself? Joining us now is someone who knows about this issue firsthand.
Right, exactly. A billion people tuned in. Like, well, honestly, y'all might want to hope a billion people didn't tune into that shit, because that's just a billion people laughing at both of you. 1 in 8 people in the world tuned in. He's so ridiculous.
Former White House press secretary under President Trump, Sean Spicer, a News Nation political contributor. Sean, good to see you. All right, so that is my question. Why do you think that Trump is doing this? Can he just not help himself on this issue?
No, he can't.
Look, I think this goes back to a degree of wanting the respect for the size and scope.
Dude, he's 78 years old, man. He's not 15. You know, he's not 12. I just want my dad to believe in me. Like, bro, you're 78.
For the movement that he's had, and he never felt as though the media has given him his due. That he took this movement out of nowhere. He's not a political creature. He's a businessman that jumped into politics and established a movement, frankly, I've not seen in 30 years of politics. And I don't think that the media.
What about Obama? Because that was a pretty big movement too, and his the movement around Obama is still much more intact. So I don't really get why when people say this. Like, Obama's movement was massive when he won. So what are you talking about?
Media has ever given him the
Ronald Reagan. Like, what?
Respect that he deserved for developing that. In fact, you know, if you think about it, during the primary campaign of 2015, it was he doesn't have a ground game. He doesn't understand politics. You've got these other
And again, it's like all of that is irrelevant to actually winning the election, especially now, because now. And also one of the biggest reasons that this has been so good for Kamala and Walz is because now is when people are really starting to tune in and pay attention with a few months left to go. So this just
successful politicians, Jeb Bush, Marco Rubio, Ted Cruz, who, you know, clearly will best him. He probably won't make it. And again, he busted through sort of political hurdles. He said things that no one else had ever said in politics.
Okay, Sean, I don't want to listen to you, honestly. And he also took a whole lot of losses too. What about that? You know what I'm saying? He also took an unbelievable amount of L's. So there's that too. Now we got Stuart Varney with a little more criticism.
There's a rising tide of criticism of Donald Trump from his own supporters and from some of his fellow Republicans. It reminds me of the quiet, low-voice criticisms of President Biden's cognitive ability before he was pushed out of his re-election campaign. Nobody went out in public to get him to withdraw until it was obvious he couldn't win. That's when the knives came out and Biden was hustled out the way. It is not like that with Trump, and he's not going anywhere. But there are rumblings. Not all the troops are happy. The Hill brings it together with this headline: GOP pleads with Trump to control impulses, focus on policy. The article goes through a litany of problems. Trump goes off on tangents like fighting over crowd size. At his press conference, he went off on a helicopter ride he says he took with former San Francisco Mayor Willie Brown. He's attacked allies like Georgia Governor Brian Kemp. In short, the Hill says he lacks discipline. He can't deliver a coherent message. Today in the Wall Street Journal, Jerry Baker takes Trump to task. Here's the headline: Trump is looking like a loser again. Strong stuff. He writes, by my calculation, about 1/3 of Mr. Trump's remarks fell into 3 categories: false, obtuse, or lunatic. Don't hold back, Jerry. The most intense criticism is about his language and demeanor. He used foul language to describe Kamala Harris. How on earth will he win the vital women's vote when he uses words they hate? There are loud calls to knock it off, but he's not listening. There's no way he could be removed from the ticket. It is not the same as the Biden situation. He was removed when it became clear that his party didn't trust him to be president for another 4 years. He couldn't win the election. Trump could do the job of president, but can he win? There's a growing chorus saying if he won't win, he won't win if he can't stay on message, can't focus on policy, and refuses to change his language on women. 2 weeks ago, it was Trump's election to lose. It's now an election he has to fight to win, and he's brought this on himself. Third hour of Varney starts now.
Varney, I met Stuart Varney before when I was I think I got under his skin a little bit though, because when I was doing Politoscope, we had some interviews on like Fox News and stuff like that and a few other outlets. And I remember Stuart Varney, he said he made some type of comment. It was all a joke. It was in jest or whatever. And he was like, "Do you know who I am?" And then like a few minutes later, something came up. And then like I kind of like threw it at him sarcastically. I was like, "Oh, I mean, you know who you are, right?" And then he was like, "That young man is sarcasm." And then he gave out like a big fake laugh because I think I offended him. I think what I said low-key offended him, and he didn't want to just say it. He was like, he looked at me, he was like, "That young man was sarcasm." Oh shit. I haven't thought about that in a while. He was like, "Shut up." Oh man, that was funny. Trump acknowledges his somewhat different and strange voice during the Elon Musk. What is he gonna say? What is he gonna say about this? I have to know. But yeah, no, I totally forgot about that. I pissed him off a little bit. Yes, indeed. You came back just in time. All right, we got let's see. Trump acknowledges his somewhat different and strange voice. What is he going to say? I don't know, but this is going to be good, whatever it is. Okay, I thought this was something we already read, but it's not. But he repeats himself, so you know.
My conversation with Elon last night was heard by a record audience and was really something special, as Elon himself is very special, and I thank him for such a strong endorsement. Unfortunately, because of the complexity of modern-day equipment and cell phone technology.
The complexity of modern-day equipment and cell phone technology. You know, it's not as if we've had radio. People have been, you know, we've had walkie-talkies and radios for like 100+ years now. So this is not new. You know, not at all.
My voice was, in certain areas, somewhat different and strange. Therefore, we have put out an actual and perfect recording of the conversation. Enjoy.
And it did sound a bit like distorted, but that doesn't really make it better. You know what I mean? It doesn't make it better at all. Former federal prosecutor. Hold on, wait. We'll look at one more of these and then I'm gonna exit it out because yes,
Elon Musk is so very special. He's a really rich guy. He's a really, really rich guy.
Yes, Michael, thank you. Hot beverage. See, Michael knows what's up, man. Michael McCullough knows what's up. Because it's the scratchiness. You feel me? It's the scratchy voice. It just gets to a little bit, but that's what I'm gonna have to do. I'm gonna have to have me some some hot tea while I'm here. Hot tea with some honey. Because I do all the impressions, you know what I'm saying? So Bill O'Reilly. Very emotional guy. Lacks discipline. He's never had discipline.
Oh, okay.
You don't need any
so
help
how
to
about
do
this?
that.
Has Kamala Harris brought it out? Has Kamala Harris's meteoric rise brought out the worst in Donald Trump?
I don't think so. I don't think Trump's afraid of Kamala Harris. I think that the former president lacks discipline still in messaging. You know, when you are running for an office and you know the deck is stacked against you, where the media, as you just pointed out, is not going to report anything honestly at all, nothing. And the Democratic Party has got a constituency that hates you, and that will drive a vote out. Doesn't matter what the issues are. Then you have to basically figure out, if I want to win, I have to do this. So to me, this would be the economy above all. You're spending so much money on the essentials of life, and it's because of Biden-Harris. And they can't refute that. The numbers are the numbers. And then the border. I mean, I think Kamala Harris is looking foolish by saying, oh, I'm a tough border queen now. All Trump's got to do is rerun the Lester Holt interview on NBC. And Holt said, hey, how come you haven't been to the border? She says, I have been to the border. Holt goes, no, you haven't. And then she goes, I haven't been to Europe either. Just run that clip 100 times. So
why isn't he doing
discipline? It's all about, I don't know. I don't know who he hires or why they're not doing it. One thing I know about Donald Trump is that he's a very emotional guy. People don't think he's emotional, but he is. And if he's having a bad day, that bad day is going to come out during a rally or an interview like Musk tonight. Having a good day, then his presentation will be more crisp. But he isn't like a guy who is internalizing what I should do. He just flies. And he doesn't really think about the repercussions of what he says. And that's hurting him.
When has he ever thought about the repercussions of what he said? It just so happened to work for him in 2016 because, again, he ran a bit of a different campaign, but also he was going against Hillary Clinton. You feel me? But ever since then, it hasn't worked for him. This is who he's been forever. Hold on. All right, let's see. We got let me play something because I need to reply. I need to reply to something real quick. Oh, here we go. The deep state attack on Elon Musk and Donald Trump's interview. Oh, we rolling today. We going for over 2 hours today. This office is making a difference, man. I really like the office that I got in here. I'm gonna have to give you a little tour. I got the camera right here, so I can't. It's not on my laptop, but I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna give a tour for everybody. But let's check this out, and then I need to reply to a message.
Co-chair Laura Trump. First of all, I'm a little concerned. They're hacking your father-in-law's website. My understanding is he has the top cybersecurity people that have put it together. We're not dealing with amateurs here. Now they have gone hard after Elon Musk tonight and limiting the number of people that could listen to your father-in-law earlier tonight. And on top of that, then you have the EU. They're going after Musk in a way that sounds like they want to prosecute the guy criminally because he believes in freedom of speech in the platform called X. That sounds pretty authoritarian to me and downright dangerous. Why is this happening?
Yeah, Sean, I think it's pretty obvious at this point. There are a lot of people out there, and there's a massive effort, of course, to keep Donald Trump out of the White House. These people are terrified. This is the deep state. This is the swamp in Washington, D.C. These are the people who are our adversaries in many cases, and they know that the jig is up, the game is over when Donald J. Trump returns to the White House, and they're petrified of it. They have had a free pass for 3.5 years. The people who want to do nefarious activities to us here in America, to our allies around the world, they've gotten a free pass and a free ride, and they would like another 4 years of that with Kamala Harris at the helm. Donald Trump is the only person who can deliver this country back to we the people, the only person who can make sure that the world is stabilized once again. And there are, I assume, Sean, a lot of people out there who don't want to see that happen for really awful reasons, quite frankly. What I can tell you is that.
Oh, hold on. Yeah, my bad. I got to finish something up real quick. Yeah, she got them dead. Did y'all see that video where she was drinking wine and her baby was just crying like, and she was like just drinking like, oh, this is the epitome of them. Yeah, so let's get into another one. Let's get into another one. We've been going for over 2 hours. Oh, let's see. Okay, yeah, we already looked at that of Tim Walz thanking JD Vance for his service. A classy move and also a very smooth FU. A very smooth FU. Oh God, we got Greg Gutfield. We'll read that. These people are so dumb. J.K. Rowling. Hold on, we gonna go over a few more of these real quick. A few more. Just a few more.
But that's okay. That's the way I get treated, and I don't mind that at all. What I can tell you is this. We cannot have a Democrat. We cannot have her. She's incompetent. She's as bad as Biden in a different.
Yeah.
Look, she hasn't done an interview since this whole scam started. And say what you want. This was a coup. This was a coup.
This was a coup. It's so unfair to Joe Biden. They did him so wrong.
Because he cares so much about Joe Biden. You know what I'm saying? Hold on. All right. Boom. What else we got?
Different. But the bottom line is they're all going to be at 100%. Why wouldn't you put 100% of it? And they're doing it right now while this third-rate phony candidate. Don't forget, I beat Biden. He failed in the debate miserably.
They put in this third-rate phony candidate
who's beating me right now. Kamala, she's too stupid to do a debate like this. She's too dumb. She's too stupid to sit down and do a debate like I am.
They're doing it right now while this third-rate phony candidate. Don't forget, I beat Biden. He failed in the debate miserably. And, some people said, oh, gee, it's too bad. It's too bad he did so badly, or I did well in the debate. The first night they said, wow, one of the people at CNN said that was the greatest debate performance I've ever witnessed. And then 2 days later, they didn't talk about that. They just said he was bad. But that's okay. That's the way I get treated. And
that's the way I get treated by the media. It's so unfair. The media should be saying good things about me. But they're not. They're not saying good things about me. I'm 7 years old. It's so unfair.
Oh, this is what I was talking about. The must be your shitty ears. Must be your shitty hearing. Get your ears checked. But I don't want to open it up to X. But that's what it says.
The biggest
this was
threat
the climate change. Honestly, I listened to the whole thing, and there's way more that he said that was unbelievably ridiculous. And then we got JD Vance responding to Tim Walz after Tim Walz was like, "Hey man, thanks for your service." JD Vance was like, now again, that's really the debate that I can't wait to see. I can't wait to see Tim Walz versus JD Vance. Obviously everybody's going to watch Kamala versus Trump. Kamala's definitely going to win that. Trump's going to be ridiculous, but it's not going to be the same type of ass whooping and clean sweep that Walz is going to give JD. It's not going to be on that level. It'll be a win. She's going to win, but Walz, that debate is going to be something else, because look, at the end of the day, like, JD doesn't have a record to speak of, especially when it comes to politics. Tim Walz, not just the 24-year military service, not just all the years he spent as a teacher, the years he spent in Congress, then the terms that he spent as governor. Like, Tim Walz has a very established career. JD doesn't. Like, what is he going to talk about up there? You see what I mean? Like, at least like Trump has been president, so he can, even though he's going to be ridiculous, he can at least talk about something politically related. JD can't do that. This is going to be an absolute shit show of a debate between Walz and Vance. But this is what JD had to say in response. He says, "Hi, Tim. I thank you for your service, but you shouldn't," again, this is what he said. Oh, I don't want to open it up to X, but we watched it already. He said, "I'm proud of my service." He said, "I firmly believe you should never denigrate another person's service record. Anyone brave enough to put on that uniform for our great country, including my opponent, I just have a few simple words. Thank you for your service and sacrifice. And then this is what JD says. Hi, Tim. I thank you for your service, but you shouldn't have lied about it. You shouldn't have said you went to war when you didn't, nor should you have said that you didn't know your unit was going to Iraq. Happy to discuss more in a debate. He's going to wipe the floor with you. And two, like, the Army veterans are not feeling this. You feel me? Like, they pretty much most Army vets that I've seen have told JD to take a seat when he says this. These are responses to it. This is a gross response to a very classy statement by Tim. Yeah, man, Tim, he's just good at this, man. He's so good at this that he said, "Thank you for your service, JD." Man, that's smooth. That is smooth. Because he could have just lit his ass up. But this is even better. That's how it's done right here. Tim Walz shuts down JD Vance and his attacks and then ends and thanks him for his service. Like, bro, come on, man. Like that's as good as it gets right there. JD lies so much it makes it necessary to go back and review the newspaper articles he spent his time writing in Iraq to see how many falsehoods they contain. You lied about him lying about it. He didn't lie, can't we? Yeah. Can't wait until he couches you at the debate. Kamala is she's up in every single swing state except one. So again, I mean, unless things change, honestly, at this point, there's really not that much point in going over poll after poll after poll, because in every poll, she's up by 8, she's up by 6, she's up by 4, 3 at the least, she's up by 11. Like that's how all the polls are going. So honestly, polls are kind of boring right now. Unless something changes, she's up and outside of the margin of error. And if it keeps up like that, her national average is just gonna keep ticking and ticking. You know what I'm saying? Like the more polls that come out where she's up by 6, 5, 4, 8, 9, 11, her national average is going to go up high enough to where she's going to be clean. She's already outside the margin of error when it comes to the currents, but like with the national average, it's like a month by month average. So it'll go up more. That goes up more slowly. But again, if things keep trending in this direction, by the time the election comes around, Kamala's going to be up by 5, 6, maybe even 7 points nationally. And if that happens, it's so over. So again, unless and until polling starts to trend in another direction, it's kind of a waste of time, to tell you the truth. There's other stuff to talk about, especially when she releases her policy agenda, which I think she's doing this week, if I recall. Yeah, no, and then too, another thing that they're criticizing JD for is you're able to retire after 20 years of service, and Tim served for 24 years. Like, you know, like what do you, you know, it's, I don't know. But yeah, it really plays bad with the public because right now, again, like it's not even, the Iraq war is very unpopular. It's not like, you know, like that was a massive, I won't even say mistake. I don't think it's really accurate to say that Iraq was a mistake, because this country did it on purpose. We knew what we were doing. At least the people, you know, the people who carried it out knew what they were doing. So, yeah, it's just a losing argument. Yeah, exactly. It'll be this will be like the Biden Ryan debate, but like 5 times more of a just domination. Because again, like I fully anticipate Kamala to win the debate, or however many debates she does with Trump. 1, because she's pretty decent at it, and 2, because Trump is spiraling out of control. So I just don't see how he'll do a good job. But at least Trump can say, I did this as president, I did that as president. But JD can't do that. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, yeah, no, it's JD Vance was like the worst pick that Trump possibly could have gone with. Yeah, you pick a Doug Burgum. Well, Doug Burgum could talk about his record. JD ain't got no record. This man, I cannot wait for that debate. I cannot wait for that shit. Let's see. Byron Donalds is embarrassing. He really is.
For you, what Donald Trump said in his conversation, one part of what Donald Trump said in his conversation with Elon Musk about firing striking employees.
You're the greatest cutter. I mean, I look at what you do. You walk in and you just say, you want to quit? They go on strike. I won't mention the name of the company, but they go on strike and you say, that's okay, you're all gone. You're all gone. So every one of you is gone.
The UAW has filed an unfair labor practice charge against Trump over that. The head of the Teamsters, though, Sean O'Brien, said this about what Trump told Elon Musk there. Firing workers for organizing, striking, and exercising their rights as Americans is economic terrorism. Sean O'Brien spoke with the RNC last month. You and I talked about it after the speech because you were sitting with Trump during his remarks. It was a big deal because it's the first Teamsters president to ever do that. And now he's saying he's having to respond to Donald Trump saying economic terrorism. Do you guys have a problem on your hands now?
No, we don't have a problem. I think what they were
There's
talking
no
about,
issue at all. There's no problem to speak of. Okay, this endless denial is 100% contributing to the just God. The Republicans they're just not in a good position, and denial is not helping you. You know, like when Trump goes out and when any of these people go out, and actually, we're doing really well in the polls. We're doing really, really well in the polls. Like, no, you're not. And if you you keep telling your base that you're doing better than you are, how is that helping you? Everyone knows that it's not. But Byron Donalds is just ridiculous.
during that conversation was about when Elon took over Twitter. Right now, obviously it's named X, but when he took over Twitter, yeah, Elon went in there and he cleaned house. But yes, look, Twitter was a mess at the time when he took it over. They had massive amount of people working at Twitter, but it wasn't actually generating income. At the end of the day, people need to remember in our country, businesses, whether they are large or small, they have to generate income. When they generate income, it gives you an ability to hire workers, pay workers, and exchange their labor for money. That's how our economic system works. Not everybody's going to be able to just keep their job just because they worked at the company. It's an unfortunate reality. But if you're going to have successful businesses, every now and again, not all the time, but sometimes, yes, people are let go. It's very unfortunate.
I don't want to listen to the rest of this, honestly. Like, dude, shut up. I don't know anything about anything whatsoever. Oh. Okay, no, Megyn Kelly. No, Megyn Kelly right now. We've already been streaming for almost 2.5 hours. So no Megyn Kelly. Nate Silver was on with Megyn Kelly, and he was like, what did he say? He said he was saying the fact that the media is no longer talking about Joe Biden's age is not a good look. Like, Joe Biden's he's not going to be in office in a handful of months. Why should the media be talking about that at all right now? I don't know. He does do some decent work. You know what I'm saying? It's not like he doesn't do anything good, because I don't think that's fair. But I don't know. Some of his takes just don't really make sense. Like, dude, nobody cares about Joe Biden right now. That's really not what the media should be talking about. It's pretty irrelevant. But yeah, no, that shit would buy. I didn't even want to watch the rest of it because it was like, dude, shut up. Okay, no, we're not gonna do that. I gotta pay for a subscription with that, so we're not gonna. We go. Okay, we already looked at that when he's like,
she looks Camilla. Camilla looks like my wife. She looks like my third wife who hates me. My third wife who doesn't want to hold my hand on camera.
Yo, she be batting his hand away when he tries to hold it. Oh man, that's funny. All right, what we got here? We got a right winger who's he's a populist, so he's upset. Yes, Donald, actually, that was the first thing that we talked about on the stream today was Ilhan Omar. We were talking about I was comparing and contrasting kind of her approach to what it seems like, versus Cori Bush. And I was giving her so many props in terms of how I think Ilhan Omar may be the most attacked and unfairly treated member of Congress, and she still wins. She won by 15% in her district, which is a very strong indication that she has real relationships with her constituency. They feel like they know her. When they reach out to her, she replies, she gets back to them. That's why she keeps winning. And I was talking about how that is that we can learn a lot from her, and we should pay more attention to what she's doing, because if Ilhan Omar can win by 15%, despite everything that's thrown at her, then I think that's a good sign that in fact progressives can have a lot more wins than we do, and that there's adjustments that need to be made to our overall strategy. I think a lot of what progressives have done up until this point, um, you know what I'm saying? But I just think that oh yeah, that's another thing that I think is just not that strong of an argument that I think progressives lean on too heavily, is like any time a progressive loses, it's like APAC, like you know what I'm saying? Like a 15, I don't think APAC would have wiped away a 15% victory. Maybe she would have won by 5%. But I think that at this point in time, what we do know is that overall progressive policies are pretty popular with people, in terms of like stuff like just the general idea of expanding Medicare, raising the minimum wage, stronger unions, stuff like that is pretty popular. So I think that, especially from like a media perspective, like one of my biggest criticisms with progressive media is like, we're the ones that people are tuning in and listening to. So I don't think it's that helpful when people in the media are like, oh, it's because of this pack and that pack and that pack and this pack. Like, nah, man, like, let's talk strategy. Let's talk about that. So that was a lot of my take on it. But I think she clearly is a hell of a politician. But I think that especially progressive political pundits and analysts, I think that I don't really like when there's segments to where it's like, let's talk for 30 minutes about how the only reason this person lost is APAC. Like, come on, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's just my viewpoint on it. Especially from a pundit perspective, like we can do better than that because people want our policies. But no, yeah, that's we started the stream off with that. But definitely congratulations to Ilhan. And again, I'm not saying that APAC and corporate money doesn't play a factor, but I think that it's so baked into the game and so baked into the system. Yeah. After a while, it's just like, oh, okay, well, we know APAC is there, so let's deal with it. So yeah, but no, that's definitely really exciting news. That not only did she win, she won big time, 15% victory. But yeah, no, that was a good conversation that we started off. We got a couple more. We're gonna finish this. I don't think I've ever streamed for this long. Yeah, this is definitely the longest stream I've ever done. Okay, so this was no, we don't need to look at that. We only got a couple more. Greg Gutfield. This is what Greg Gutfield had to say about the disastrous Twitter interview. He said, hold on, oh no, I don't have it up. My bad. Here we go. Can y'all see this? Well, let me just read it. This is what Greg Gutfield had to say. He says, this interview is good, but the bigger story is that two of the most important world figures agree on the world. What's that tell you? The most consequential technical genius perhaps ever and the most consequential political figure are talking about stuff on equal footing. And Trump knows everything Musk is talking about concerning energy, artificial intelligence, and economic development. No politician could energetically engage on future problems like this. Most would need a staff of 10 doing packets of research for each topic, and still the politician will have no idea what to think. Dude, shut up. You're full of shit. You don't really think that. There's no way that he really thinks that. Are you kidding me? How could anyone have listened to that interview? How could anyone have listened to that interview and thought, oh, this is so great? But it's Greg Gutfield. He's not a serious person. Let's see. Elon Musk, J.K. Rowling named in cyber harassment complaint filed by Algerian boxer Imani Khalif. J.K. Rowling is just a very hateful bigot. Like this woman created. She's more legitimate than Elon Musk. Elon Musk ain't never created nothing. She created one of the greatest stories ever told, at least in modern times, one of the most successful brands that any of us will ever see. And she's an idiot. Like, it's like you're a brilliant writer, but you're also an idiot. Like a lot of her tweets that she was putting out, like, this is a man. All of you sound bonkers. Like she was like, you all sound bonkers because you don't think that this woman is a man. Like, with your billionaire ass, why do you care about this? With your bored, hateful ass, go do something. It ain't much of nothing you can't do with your wealthy behind. Oh no, I'm just going to talk about transgender people because oh god. But yeah, that was one of her tweets. She was like, frankly, you all sound bonkers. Bonkers. Speaking of J.K. Rowling, I mean, bro, look what's over my left shoulder. I solemnly swear that I am up to no good. She created that shit, man. And she's an idiot. All right, let's see. Former federal prosecutor. If Trump loses election, he spends rest of his miserable life in court or prison. I agree with this. Of course, obviously we'll have to see, but I personally don't see how a man, when it's all said and done, Donald Trump's going to be like, he's going to have like 80 felony convictions when it's all said and done. I don't see how you can avoid some type of imprisonment with all that. I just don't. Like, if you're not, oh, you say she didn't start until they built the theme parks? Yeah, because I remember initially she wasn't doing all that shit. But then out of nowhere, it's like, girl, what? What is wrong with you? But yeah, no, I personally think that, again, a man who's gonna inevitably end up having like a minimum of 75 felony convictions, no real money or power left. His business, his brand is destroyed. He had, everyone hates him. All these Republicans who are constantly licking his boots, they can't wait until he loses. He's just someone who is positioned to be a historical scapegoat. Everything's going to be blamed on Donald Trump if and when he loses. Everything, even shit that's not his fault. It's going to be like, oh, that's because of Trump. That's because of Trump. I don't see how he's going to have the leverage to just not be in some form of imprisonment. But obviously, we got to wait and see. But this, let's see what he has to say. This is the last thing that we'll do for today.
But I mean, are you shocked that case has just stopped? Like nothing's happened. The appellate division in Georgia, whatever their appellate division is, said case stopped.
Yeah, well, they set a very leisurely pace for the appeal of the decision by Judge McAfee that Fani Willis has not conflicted off the case.
And also keep in mind, this is really what's on the forefront of Donald Trump's mind, because again, there's absolutely no real guarantee that he won't, yeah, I think that's pretty accurate, Donald. I do. I really do. I think that's really accurate. This is really what he's thinking about, which is a lot of why he's so all over the place, because this is what's on his mind. Donald Trump he's really in trouble. He really is.
She can continue to prosecute it. It's inexplicable to me why they would set that on such a leisurely track, but they have. I'm not prepared to leap to the conclusion that, well, that equals the judges on the Georgia Court of Appeals are doing it for political reasons. I have heard that they often set these very elongated timetables in their appeals. So listen, as long as Donald Trump loses the election, then Donald Trump will spend the rest of his miserable life in court being prosecuted and ultimately serving prison terms, one after the other. So our job is to just get to the polls and numbers too big to rig and too real to steal, and then everything else will sort itself.
But again, y'all, that is legitimately the situation that he's in. Like this, it's not fake. It's not made up. Like Donald Trump really the only thing that's going to keep him out of prison is if the right amount of people just decide to do him that solid. You know, like that's the only thing that's going to stop it, is if the right people are be like, no, we'll do you a solid and let you go. But other than that, this motherfucker gonna have 80 something felonies. Like, but we'll see. Obviously, we'll see. We'll see. But nah, man, thank y'all for tuning in and rocking with me. We went for a long time today, 2.5, a little over 2.5 hours. I had an excellent time. I had a lot of fun. We covered some good information. Again, congratulations to Ilhan Omar. Keep the fight alive. Keep showing us the way. Keep showing us that despite the fact that there's so many obstacles, so many forces against progress, honestly, who gives a shit? You know what I'm saying? Like, let's have some hope. Let's have some courage and let's move forward with strength. So y'all have a fantastic evening, and y'all will definitely see me tomorrow. Oh, and I'm gonna be on I'll be on the power panel this Friday. So check me out on the power panel this Friday. Other than that, I'll see y'all tomorrow. Have a good night.